Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory, trying at least to get back to the upside this morning, coming off another positive performance on Thursday. The Dow closed above 34,000 for the very first time ever. We saw both the NASDAQ and S&P up about 1% at the end of the day on Thursday. The rally followed blowout retail sales data from March, much bigger than expected gain in retail sales during the month of March. It was 9.8% versus 6.1% expected. Also fueling the rally continues to be strong earnings. We're underway as far as Q1 earnings reporting season. Big banks have been good so far. We'll have a look at Morgan Stanley coming up here a little bit this morning. Not really doing much in the pre-market, even with a decent report, though. DraftKings shares higher. The NFL naming them their lead sports betting partner. So we'll talk about DraftKings. And QuantumScape trying to bounce back after that short seller report that came out yesterday. It's Friday, April 16th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets, as I mentioned, positive, but only just about 0.2% right across the board there for U.S. markets. Here in Toronto, the TSX just went positive as well, futures anyways. Bitcoin to the downside. We're going to talk about crypto stocks coming up here. Big sell-off since record highs that we saw early yesterday, all the way back to 60,000. Both crude and gold, meanwhile, in positive territory to start things off for Friday as well. Good morning, guys. Yeah, all the way back to 60,000 for Bitcoin today. So going to have to keep an eye on Coinbase. We're going to have to keep an eye on some crypto stocks today. And we're going to have to keep an eye on Morgan Stanley because earnings seem to be pretty good, but not really doing much.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the story is like nobody's surprised that all the banks blew it out of the water, but you're not getting a tremendous amount of movement. Morgan, well, I shouldn't say that because it was like a $2.50 move up and down that we were able to take advantage of here, and really it was just a matter of we've seen it get sold off, and I kind of looked at this happen on many of these banks and was like, well, I just got to take the trade at least one of these times. So I grabbed a little bit at the bottom. I should have done it twice. But at that point, I just sort of figured if it's going to come back down there and test it again, I mean, I don't know if they're going to start selling on fantastic earnings. I mean, I don't know. They basically beat across the board. That's all you can really say. But they've been the entire banking sector has sort of been riding this nice wave on the year from January, and I kind of feel like this was just one of those you weren't going to get the blowout moves to the upside no matter what. We talked yesterday about the Treasury 10-year hitting and breaking that 1.6. Well, it hadn't broken the 1.6, but in the morning we were saying hitting that 1.6 and watch out for it to break, and it is what it is. That happens. NASDAQ and the tech go up, and then you don't get the strength in the banks that you would expect. When you get that reversal that might eventually happen, catching a little bit of bid on the yield curve, you're probably going to be looking at something like a BAC, which will certainly be one of the ones you want to pick up if you're looking at the banks in particular. So we're going to have to watch them today, but it does feel like, again, like the NASDAQ still above that 14,000. We just made a nice little strong move to the upside. But as you said, crypto. I'll be watching, a little bit. I haven't touched Mara or Riot. I'll be watching Mara today, SOS. I got to watch for that because if 60,000 breaks, you're going to see some interesting action. And then, of course, Coinbase. Sean, holding 320, sort of, I guess is the best way to put it this morning, but it's still held that low.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, I mean, banks going to be on watch. We talked about DraftKings. I have them on my board right now, up that 4%. I mean, a great deal with NFL. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you watch golf, got it on their hat. NFL will be blasting it everywhere. I mean, I was watching NFL football. I think they were sponsoring like the NBC Sunday night game. So now we'll see what this deal entails, but it's nice to see a little bit of a bump up here as some of these growth stocks have been hit, right? It's just a cyclical change. Right now we've seen oil go nuts. We're seeing banks now come off a little bit despite, it being earnings season. But this happened last earnings season. So look, we're super excited to talk everything today. Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy that Bitcoin, but now Bitcoin's at 61,000. Like, this is not even that volatile. Like, it's like talking about a stock that was $64 yesterday and it's $61 today. Like, welcome to the world of trading. I think Bitcoin is really, much more stable than people give it credit for because they're seeing it as this asset that is a wild, but it's not that crazy. Like it's been a crazy move up. But if you could stomach some of these pullbacks, I mean, it's well worth it. We'll talk about BTC, we'll talk about Ether, Mara, Riot, everything. We have them all listed down. I just tweeted out the sticky note. It's not super packed today, but there's some stuff there. Things that I don't normally look at. We have Alcoa on the watch today, Brendan.
All right, yeah, lots to get through. Just seeing SOS popping up here. We'll have a look at, these crypto stocks coming up. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get over to the desk. Yes, she's wearing that shirt today. Miss V, good morning.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi guys. Let my green bring the luck to you. Please enjoy the day and do your best. Smash the like button and let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's get it started with a look at the top 10 list. We haven't done it for a couple of days, so we'll have a look at the top 10 traders here at Day Trade the World from yesterday. 25,700, number one, Amex and NASDAQ yesterday. Big wide range of markets here. Number two, 21,900, some Canadian content all the way through to the OTC pink sheets. 20,800, NASDAQ, New York. You can see Chicago, some futures action. 12,000 yesterday, so still great opportunities. Even Europe down there. Number seven, 8,275. Still great opportunities in this market, even with volatility not the highest at the moment. Where do we want to go here first, guys? We have lots to cover here coming up in the next hour or so. We can talk about some of the banks. Why don't we start things off with some IPOs, because we had two yesterday, actually three yesterday if you include that eBet that was just insane. And then there was those other two that ended up being a bit of a flop. But TSP, that too simple, ends up closing dead flat on the day, exactly where it opened.
Yeah, like that one was, I mean, I'm not sure the word to describe it, but I suppose interesting is the safest thing I can come up with. In the afternoon show at 3:15, I was sort of saying to myself, well, actually saying to everybody here, it was just like, that 40, I can't imagine a world in which you had that volume of selling when it broke at 40, and then, you know, just a continuation 38. It's just down, like all the way down to like a 32 before making just a miraculous comeback on mostly low volume off at the top. When it made the second move, and this would have been like at around sort of right around 3 o'clock or just at 3 o'clock, right before we went back on live, it was not on a ton of volume, and that's why I was like, when it gets to 40, it's got to be a bit of a rollover. Just no it didn't have a ton of continuation. It was a good trade in there, but it wasn't a huge amount of continuation. So the fact that we're holding up here, I mean, a little bit of surprise to me. I kind of have to favor the same thing I was looking at the close, which was just, you know, shorting in front of like $40 if you get a chance. There was just the volume of sell was too big, and we saw what happened sort of day two with Coinbase and trying to hold up the second day and then just sort of sliding off a little bit and retesting some of those lows. Do I think TSP retest 32? That seems a little bit extreme to me, but you know, if it comes back and gets you like 36.50. That's not going to be too much of a surprise here. We're right in the middle of that range, so I would probably hold off in the volume. It's not doing any pre-market. It's only 15,000 shares. Maybe the interest is gone. If that's the case, I can't see it breaking the 40 even. Probably one of those things we'll be watching as it opens up. But it wasn't even the only one, because that EBET was just completely insane, Brendan and Sean. I mean, I don't know. No words can describe how you can go halt down multiple times and then make the recovery that thing did.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because it actually opened up like on time, which was like, you know, we wait forever. And I didn't even realize this was opening yesterday. I don't think any of us, we didn't even mention this one. Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, but not as an IPO. This was just insane. Like, I mean, I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys, but this is what Neil's talking about. Go over. Here it is. So we opened up there yesterday at 10:10, eBet. So an online betting with different products and whatnot. We'll see how eBet fares today. But I mean, we have DraftKings. I mean, I prefer that over eBet, but apparently not, because $21, $22 IPO price looks like, I guess, 22 right on the nose. Halts, I guess it halts almost instantly when it goes up to 23. I don't even know why that would halt right there, but it did. And then it opens up again at 25.50, and then for some reason again goes to 28 and halts again. Shouldn't have halted there either. And then goes all the way up to $32. And then goes to 35, should not have halted there either. And then comes all the way down. And anyways, it's one, I can go on this forever. Like, we don't halt stocks ever, it seems like. And then now this one just opens up and it's like, okay, underwriters, wrong. Like, start pricing this thing right. But after all of this, in an hour, it comes right back to where it was. So all of this drama for nothing, all the way back up, and then in the afternoon it took off again, all the way. I mean, just took off, and then now you're seeing again what we're doing today, up to $52 this morning. Absolutely nuts, to 47. So this is e-bet, man, and we're just gonna wait to see. Like, I think a break of 45. I mean, again, we're not wrong until we're wrong, but I mean, 42 to the downside, 45 to the downside look like good bets here, and we'll wait to see what happens. But like, I guess I just don't know enough about this. It's probably they didn't list as many shares as they probably should have, and people got caught maybe short, maybe wanting to sell. I don't know what happened here with eBet, but just a crazy stock. We'll look at it today, and the other one, I guess, was App. I don't think that really did too much. Let's check again. So $64, $65, and this is what it's, yeah. So, I mean, it just went the other way. Again, another IPO, $70, touches a high of only 71, but tanks first to 67, and then it doesn't see the light of day again until hopefully today. But I always say that sometimes, Brendan, the birthday of these stocks are their best day. And does App get back to 70? We don't know. But how do you even, I don't know, Brendan, maybe you have some ideas, but how do we even trade these IPOs? Like, how do you know which one to go long? Which one? I mean, Coinbase, I think, was easy because we talked about that and there was so much hype around it. Maybe that's what it is. It's just a hype train at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not the right time for these growth-oriented type stocks to be coming to market. But, I mean, that eBet, you can't avoid that. We have to have a look at that today. I just checked. 12.6 million shares outstanding only on eBet, so teeny tiny float, guys. Let's bring in Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, and have a chat about what he is looking at for a Friday. Good morning, Mark. It has been a busy week, to say the least. We have lots of earnings to sift through. Morgan Stanley this morning, as we said, looks fine. It looks positive, but again, we're not really seeing much follow through here.
No, what's happened is a lot of the money has already gone into these quite aggressively. They have to stabilize. They'll move higher over time, especially as rates stay within that 1.5 to 1 3/4 area. Again, as I stated many, many months ago, higher rates are good if the economy is growing, and this economy is on fire. So I'm only expecting higher rates, which are good for financials.
And when we have a market as well at all-time highs, the Dow above 34,000 for the first time ever yesterday, how much follow-through can we actually expect from some of these?
The follow-through is going to be a little iffy. You'll have maybe a morning rally, a dip, volume will stay somewhat condensed, and then all of a sudden you'll get a late-day spurt on no news. Likewise, the other way. They sell off late in the day for no apparent reason. Many of these stocks are not following the traditional, the market is at a level and it runs 0.5 or 0.75%, and these stocks follow. In some cases, they go lower.
A little bit of news in vaccine world to have a look at this morning. I just noted BioNTech, BNTX, China, looking at July possibly. To approve their COVID-19 vaccine. That stock's been just going straight up for the past few sessions here. What are your thoughts on BNTX?
I'm more concerned about China and its accuracy as far as the data coming out on any of its vaccines. I'm a big skeptic, so I'm staying on the sidelines.
And of course, we had Johnson & Johnson, a little bit of news regarding this hold, I guess, could be longer than expected?
Yeah, the data points are iffy for younger individuals, much, much better for older individuals. And then there was a news item that came out that was a bit confusing, that they had reached out to their competitors to help them with the blood clotting at some point. I don't know if the press will pick up on that in a big way, but being an older person and facing the J&J, if that was the vaccine of only choice, I would take it.
And I think that it's worth mentioning, we're kind of in the middle of this discovery period where they don't actually know, what the end result is going to be because no one's gotten through a significant amount of time. I read something last weekend about Moderna suggesting that after a 6-month period, their vaccine was still showing a 90% efficacy rate. So it's kind of like an evolving thing that's going to continue here as we go along. Let's look forward a little bit here, Mark. What's going to be, in your opinion, the next catalyst for this market, either direction?
I'm going to have to say whether or not Mr. Biden gets his tax increases, how the Senate will react to the green or the infrastructure deals. These are key. And that's the part of the political and economic side I'm watching for. The rest of it is if this S&P goes from 4169 into that 4200 area, there's really we'll call it a unit gap to 4900 if you do the full technical base. But I'm still looking for a correction late May into June.
Ooh, that correction. Corrections are healthy. That's the first thing we should always say. I know everyone wants stocks to go up all the time. On that note, almost a good segue here, because like you talked a little bit about J&J, and certainly in the healthcare sector, and we talked about the healthcare sector maybe needing to get a little bit of a bump, and some names that are starting to base out a little bit. I'm looking at Eli Lilly here, and I just sort of wanted to get your thoughts, because I see this interesting consolidation. You got tech on the rally, and it sort of feels like we're in the midst of a potential possible break, and sort of the waiting game is done. And especially if you were sort of sitting on J&J, not doing much of anything, you want some diversification, or maybe Pfizer's boring. But this name does look like it's paying a solid dividend. I mean, it's not huge, but not too bad at all. And if you get a little bit of a break at that 190 area, it does feel like we could retest those highs. But as we're looking with the yield going where it is, and sort of breaking that 1.6 and heading to the lower end of the range, if we hold 150, some of those growth names are coming back into vogue. So I kind of like the idea of buying some Eli Lilly now instead of waiting. But what is your take on that in terms of what you'd put money to in? Are you sort of forward thinking and being patient, and then sort of going back into some growth, or do you want to stick something in healthcare, which kind of feels like it's giving you an entry point?
Well, let me take you a step back. The pharmas are fine. Whether it's Merck, Eli Lilly, even a little J&J, those are okay, all right? I'm looking more at where is further growth. So if we're going to need a booster shot and we're going to need a vaccine yearly, which is what most of the doctor friends of mine have told me, and that second shot once a year may be tied into one shot with a flu vaccine, which would make a lot of sense, and science is trying to work on one shot at this point going 2 years out. I'm looking more for the diagnostic companies, because you're going to have to be tested along the way as your immune system reacts and overreacts during that 6 or 9 month period, if you're traveling, if you're mixing, et cetera, et cetera. So I would start doing your homework on the diagnostics. And the second part of the equation, which you may laugh at, I've been buying a lot of ZTS in the animal world of vaccine and healthcare.
Ooh, no, I'm not going to laugh at that at all. First of all, no one around here is laughing at the calls you make and the names that you bring to us for sure. So that's a good thought. I mean, you start thinking about where is everyone not looking, right, for those next types of moves. So I love it when you do this to us. I have to ask you like a quick opinion on something, because I mean, with Bitcoin sort of it just bounced off 60,000 here, and we talked a little bit about Coinbase in the last couple of sessions, and one of those things was, look, if you talk about the infrastructure, we think there's a lot of potential beyond sort of just say transaction, right? Which of course, if there's a flush in BTC that goes too far to the downside, maybe that'll hurt Coinbase. But to hear that, I mean, Cathie Wood apparently bought another, I think, 350,000 shares, my math, I think it's like just shy of 1.1 million shares in just a couple of days. And I sort of sat there saying to myself, well, if you want to hold this thing at some point in your portfolio, what are we waiting for? But if we break 60,000, are we really even holding that low at 310? So there's this battle between patience and sort of saying to yourself, oh, I don't want to miss the boat. I know I want to have some allocation to this. And with the banks sort of like teetering, doing nothing, I mean, take a little bit there, put it into Coinbase. I don't know if I love that because the banks didn't really break through those highs. But what's your take on Coinbase here? Would it be crazy? I mean, also as well, that can't be the full position that she's interested in the first 2 days. It has to imply that she wants much, much more, correct?
Right. So the story I heard was that she was selling some Tesla and buying Coinbase. So that's why you were getting swings in a lot of the growth names when Coinbase came out. It had nothing to do with the Fed beige book, which some were advocating. It was really liquidity. It was transferring assets. It was redistribution. My concern is deeper than that. Mr. Gensler, who now is going to be running the SEC, Janet Yellen, the head of Treasury, and I can't imagine the IRS isn't going to get involved. There's going to be some sort of a discovery, quote unquote, or a regulatory body that's going to look into this because there's a lot of money made and they don't want to let it slide through without the US government involved. India is already banning cryptos. So I don't think you're even in the fourth inning of a game on these stocks. Would I buy Coinbase? Absolutely, but I don't know what price.
Okay, Mark. I love getting your thoughts. And look, I want to thank you for that for ZTS because I think that's one to add to the radar and a great, fantastic pick. The Stock Father, as always, have a fantastic weekend. Look forward to having you back on Monday, my friend.
Great. Thank you so much. Drive safely.
Take care.
Yeah, good comment. Drive safely in this crazy market. Let's go upgrades and downgrades time. Affirm on here. We haven't looked at this one for quite some time, but Seaport Global Securities upgrading, $80 price target there for that one. Comcast, some of the broadcast names have been sold off pretty heavily over the past couple of weeks. Back to the upside today. Oil name down there, Marathon. Goodyear's on here. Splunk, guys, and a little real estate investment trust.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to see a firm on that list. I mean, you get a price target of 80 now. We talk about being patient, Sean, with some of these. And look, a firm broke through that like 90. We've been headed down, so it's trying to teeter. It's been trying to make a bottom, and now it kind of has double bottom 65. The market's getting that leg through the high of the day. And so, look, there were some decent and solid companies that got, I think, beaten up in the second stage. After these IPOs, and for me, firm, I got to pick some up. I got to pick some firm up, and that's just the reality. Like, at some point, if you think a company is going to be solid and you think it's a good story, but you didn't know where to buy, you got to sort of dig in at some point here. You're getting this consolidation, which is starting to look pretty good. You're starting to get some price target increases and some positive coverage. So that's a good starting point for me. I'm kind of happy to see it on that list here today. But also, Sean, I mean, just to go back to like the crypto thing, Sean. I mean, you start thinking about that Coinbase entry point, and it's going to be hard to get away from because we just bounced $12 off of that 320 area again. Again, it keeps bouncing off that same price. Someone is buying it up down there.
Yeah, it's going to be me. I have a market order to buy on open, so you guys should. I mean, just to let you guys know, I don't care. I actually. Like Mark Roberts said that he thinks, IRS and SEC will look into Coinbase. Bring it. Because, remember when they looked into XRP? Okay, so this is when I bought. So, it was 45, 46 cents. Wow, XRP is up to 70, 80 cents. Oh my God, what is happening? We better look into this. And it goes down to 22, 23 cents, so it drops about half. And then just, let's call it a month, 2 months later, XRP touches almost $2 there. So, that gave me a great little buying opportunity down here. I'm long XRP 30 cents. And then now it's up to $2, but we have faded back in. You're at $1.53. The only thing about crypto is you got to make sure you get some out, I think. Although we do have diamond hands on a lot of things, I've sold none of my ADA, which topped out recently at $1.50. We're down to $1.39 right now. I love that one. And then, guess what's barking right now? Dogecoin. So congratulations, man, to anybody that's been a bull on this one. I have not gotten in, which I had so many opportunities to get into this thing. We all did. This was, forget it. We talked about this already. In November, 0.002 for basically the whole year of 2020. So that's 20%, 20% of 1 cent, okay? today Dogecoin with Mr. Elon Musk, who now must be a gazillionaire, it touched 35 cents. So we asked people to do the math before, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday, when this thing was at 15 cents. And I was like, oh my God, from 0.002 to 15, now you're at 0.35. So again, if anybody knows anything, it's not even 0.022. There's another O in there, Batista there. So if you go back down here, I can show you. If you go all the way, well, whatever, I'll find it for you guys later, but that's 0.04. This is in March. If we go back to, let's just call it a daily chart here, guys. You see the O's there? Can you guys see that? So this is what I'm talking about. This is back in June. You see how many O's there are there? 0.002 for Dogecoin. Now worth 35 cents. Nice. So you're talking about November 0.002. So this is like, I think it's about 3 trillion% up your money. So you put $1,000 in there and you're no longer working. Congratulations, anybody who has Dogecoin. I would be a seller.
All right, guys, let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market this morning. If you have not done so yet, make sure you take a sec and register at that link for our morning note that comes out every morning, absolutely free to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Talks about everything you need to know heading into the session. Let's get into it. DraftKings, the first one this morning. Yeah, we mentioned it briefly there. The NFL naming DraftKings their sole sports betting partner. Really, there wasn't a lot of details other than that I found on this story, but I mean, this is big. This is arguably the big one for DraftKings.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal, but I mean, the stock is not always reflecting these. I guess according to what people might expect. Like, you might think that we'd be actually breaking out past that like 60, 50, 60, 65 top for the week, but well, I mean, from Wednesday at least, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening today. And I wrote that down in the off chance we'd actually get there. But this is basically what the daily chart has been looking at. Sort of a pullback. It hasn't really given the cleanest of consolidations, other than it's found some support at that 58 level. So I mean, if it's not going to be the break, you're going to see what I'm sort of getting at here, that if we're going to roll over, which seems to happen over and over again in DraftKings, the bottom pick is always tricky. Really, really tricky with DraftKings. But I mean, that 58 level I kind of like. I just feel like patience is a virtue. And every single time I've been looking at the dip buy in DraftKings for the day trade, I feel like getting in too early is always the mistake. It's always the mistake. So I want to see it test that level. I want to see it get down there, hang around for a little bit, maybe not started at like 58.50, which can be a common mistake of mine, but sort of wait around for it to test 58. If it gets down a little closer to that price and starts to hang around any kind of a solid consolidation, maybe jump into some shares there, leave some powder in the keg, give it some room to the bottom. Like, those kinds of things have to be in play. Because quite frankly, Sean, it's one thing, and we've had some good ideas on DraftKings and levels and whatnot, but putting on like that perfect day trade where you get like like a Palantir bottom, or like the way we're able to trade CCL, for me, it hasn't materialized in DraftKings, even if the levels have been right.
Yeah, no, DraftKings has been a good stock if you were trading in a couple months ago. Right now, it's just been heading to the south side here. And we've been talking about it, and I've stamped buys on it right here. Again, I don't have a problem sticking my neck out for DraftKings. I like the stock. We talked about buying it right here. I mean, you could buy it now. I mean, what's the difference? 58, 59, 57. You're right in this area here on the daily chart. So I like that. I don't know. Someone said Sean's voice is like a shot of espresso. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But thank you for that anyways, I guess. But good talk there. Okay, DraftKings up to 64. I wrote down here 60-50 that we'd have to watch that. I did put 59 as a support level. Neil just talked about some of those levels there. So as you see on a daily chart, it's coming back in. We held 59 in the after hours yesterday off this news, of course. So we did hold that 59. I mean, 59 wasn't much yesterday. It broke it and just kept on going down. Touches as low as 56, which is amazing because the NASDAQ yesterday was up like 1.3%, right? And for DraftKings to have been down like that was pretty nasty. And I don't really understand why DraftKings is down here, other than the fact that it's just, maybe it's waiting for NFL. I mean, I don't know. Is anybody watching baseball or betting on it? I don't know. And then you don't have NCAA anymore. NBA is kind of blah, and NHL. So we'll wait to see. They need college sports back, and when they come back, then I think it rifles to the top side. We just had the Masters. I know there was a lot of gambling on that. I saw DeChambeau has, and again, he doesn't make the cut. So then you don't have that. I think he made the cut, but then was not around on Saturday or Sunday. So you don't get the TV time, right? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I like this 60-50 break on DraftKings. I think it makes a lot of sense. Here's a 20-minute chart. This is 60-50 right here. So we topped out there. This is yesterday. So 2 days ago, Wednesday, we topped out at 60-50. If this news, it's actually 60-70, but I want to get a little more aggressive and hit the 50. So if it does break out, then that's going to be your level. I don't think you take it down here at 59. I mean, it's just been so sad, this stock. It can't get out of its own way, it seems like. And no matter the upgrades, the downgrades, it's just a news-based stock. So you're going to have to sort of go up and down with it as legislation comes out, with more states accepting gambling, allowing this on a federal level would be great. But then as the states come through, more and more happening, more and more moves. So I think you just slowly start building positions. We're not at a level of DraftKings where you go all in yet. That needs to happen down in the 40s. So I would say just keep easing into it, and I believe we get above the 50 period. But I like DraftKings for a long-term play. It's no longer a swing trade. You have to ease into this one.
All right, let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market. We are back in that territory again that we were kind of in at the end of the day yesterday, trying to get higher again, Arun. Record highs almost daily at this point. How do you trade that?
This market is moving at a pace that I would find unsustainable in the long run. It's impressive to watch. At the same time, this can't go on forever. Keep in mind, you ride with the wave, so it's going up at the moment, so you are looking for longs. I'm not going to say go ahead and look for shorts, but at the same time, be aware that this pace is unsustainable. We're moving roughly 100 points a week almost. Since the beginning of April, I think we were talking about 4,000 then. And then last week, we were talking about 4,100, and here we are just over 4,170 with 4,200 not too far away. So in this market, all you can do, given the way it's moved yesterday and today, now we broke out yesterday above that 4,165, which seemed like resistance. Now we're 5 points above that. I really don't have anything to work with. I think this is kind of one of those days where you just let it go, let it become a discovery session, which means you just let it go and see what levels develop as the market finds new areas to work with, right? The only level I can find all the way down, and mind you, to the upside, I have nothing. To the downside, maybe the 4150 going down to 4135, and that's a big maybe because it all depends on how it comes down, because when a market moves like this, it's easy to create a vacuum to the downside, but at the same time, it's got strength. So there's a lot of factors that come into play to create that kind of environment. But I am going to keep an eye on that 4150 through 4135. It comes down there, slows down, sets up. Maybe there's a long there. But in terms of upside and how you trade the rest of the day, if it keeps on going at this pace, you just got to let it go, let it discover the new levels, and be patient, and maybe find something else to trade. If you really can't find anything, or if it takes too long, just maybe wait it out. If you have something else to trade, trade that. If you have nothing, just sit and wait. And in my case, I really don't trade anything else. So I guess I'll be sitting and waiting.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Enjoy your weekend. We'll check back in again on Monday. Let's continue along with what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. Again, if you haven't yet, make sure you register for the morning note that we send out every morning. The second one here, big mover yesterday to the downside, broke support after Scorpion Capital came out with a short note on this company, calling it a fraud. QuantumScape is who I am speaking of, obviously. QS back higher again this morning after they responded to the short seller, guys.
Yeah, we saw the nasty move yesterday in the afternoon on QS, and look, I sold. We talked about that. I got out of 2/3 of my position, right around here, like 37 and change. Yesterday in the pre-market, when you guys brought that up to our attention, it was a nasty drop from 41.50 down to about 35 before taking a nice little move to the high side there, back to 39 and change. And I think this is the level you sort of have to look at today, 39. I wrote down 38. It looks like we're going to get there a little sooner than we thought. And then a dip down to 34. Like, I've talked about this name. I like the name. I know Volkswagen. We talked about solid state batteries and what that should mean. And we know Volkswagen's invested in this. I'd like to hear them maybe come out and say something about their investment in QS. But this little bottom was 38. I mean, that's what we wrote down on the sticky note. We wrote down 38 there. So we're going to watch to see what happens. It's that level. We just touched it and bounced off. So This may be a level. The breakout, I believe, is better at 39 if it's going to be good. But I don't really see any reason for this thing to go up. I mean, like I said, I'd like to hear Volkswagen. I don't care what the company says. I mean, Nikola was pushing trucks down the street, and Trevor Milton was all over the stock, right? And then what? A week later, he resigned. So I mean, you know, there's more stories coming. I think with QuantumScape, we'll just find out if it's going to be real or not. I'd like to see again maybe another earnings report before we do anything with QuantumScape. But for a day trade, yeah, those levels are here still. I mean, you know, you have this little break level of 36.40 yesterday. We bounced around there at the close. We could take it out again to the downside now. I'd rather wait because I'd rather go long on QuantumScape, you know, in case something does come out. But, you know, the short is what the short is, and I think it's going to work again. So down through 37 makes sense. And then if you're going to trade, you know, we trade breakouts all the time, and we trade morning ranges. And so if you're doing that, I mean, this 36, we topped out there yesterday at 3 o'clock before dumping to 35, got going again, stopped at 36 just as we closed. And then today 36 is that bottom. So you're probably looking at that as well, Neil, but I like a 36 break downside.
Yeah, look, I muted success and some success after failure shorting the stock yesterday. So today I want to try to be a little bit more patient. I like to break down at 36. I think I'm going to give it room to like 38.60. If there's a push to the upside, I'll probably give it like to 38.60 before thinking about getting into anything in front of 39. So try to get as tight of a stop as possible. I just want to. I see a few people talking about this because Neo just made a bit of a move to the downside here, and I just it sort of caught the attention here. Well, bit of a move to the downside. Neo just tanked like 70 pennies off to that 35 level. So that was one that we were watching and sort of playing off of yesterday. If we break through that, remember it was a break through 35, and then it was like the wait for 34.50, and that ended up being the bottom. So it looks like we're headed right back to another test, and I think I mean, you can sort of I don't want to say you throw out that level on an IO, but if I saw a news story, I'd see if I couldn't get to that. But this is what I sort of meant, like that 35 break, and then so there's that 34.50 area, and then 34 actual bottom. Looks like we're going to test those bottom ranges. I didn't think that was going to happen today. Thought maybe we'd have a bit of a shot to get a bit of a breakup. But once again, Neo under tremendous pressure.
All right. Yeah, just checking, guys. Sorry about that. We're just checking on Neo. I don't see anything yet. I'll keep an eye out.
I don't see. I mean, I don't.
When is the market order?
Brendan, I don't see anything because I mean the market just went down, right? I mean, there's a lot of stocks. You see QuantumScape just going down right now. I mean, we can check in on DKNG as well, and I think it's just the Nasdaq, like Arun was saying there. We've just been so hot fire the last little while that even I mean, here's DraftKings coming in. We could take a quick look. Maybe Facebook also coming in now. I'm just taking a wild guess here. No, not Facebook. Okay, so Facebook's still up, but I just this is a decent move down. 1405 down here. So we just broke that range. So I mean, that's just my guess. I have no idea as some of these higher growth stocks starting to get hit a little bit here.
April 29th is earnings day for Neo, so that's the only notable thing at this point that I can see. Let's go to Coinbase. It's day number 3 for Coinbase. There's a very, very clear and obvious base being kind of put in over the past 2 sessions, at least for Coinbase. I think this is going to come down to whether or not you traded on the long side or on the short side, guys.
Or both. I mean, look, we're day trading. We're day trading here, and we're active. So you'll see us often use a particular level to go both directions. Now, I don't think I've done nearly enough of that on Coinbase, but it's been a good stock 2 days in a row. I'd like to make that day 3, hopefully. And if you can't tell what we're talking about, there was a 310 bottom. And the 1 minute was like a double bottom. Same thing. It's a little double bottom here, and then held at 320. That level breached to the downside, but like like what we said in the afternoon show was sort of along the lines of if it actually held 320 at the close, I think it's step 1 in terms of buying Coinbase because there's enough support down there, and if certain somebody is going to continue to buy on every single dip, I mean, I guess it's only going to go down so far. I intend on taking the short at 310 if it gets there. So I am going to short that. I'm going to short that break. It's a low. It's the all-time low. Obviously, it's traded only 2.5 or 2 and a bit sessions here. But I actually think it's worth the defense. So it's one of those like I'll try to pick up a long off of that 310 if it goes down, and then I'll reverse into the short trade if at all possible. And then in terms of any breakout style trades here, I mean you do have a 330 that's come and gone a couple of times here in the pre-market. But it's a couple of tests and sort of sliding back down. The breakouts were okay. Yesterday, they're much better on day one. The first one I would look at is that 330 level. We did have a 330 break yesterday that made us some money, so that level was okay. But 310 is the big one. Whether we get a shot at it after this buying seems a little bit less likely, but you never know with Coinbase. It can move $15, $20, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any, for me, I don't think there's any chance we get down to 310. Today we could though, but we'll wait to see. I mean, if it gets down to 310, it's a $300 stock. So, I mean, no matter how much money you're going to put into it, you're going to have to sort of play this one, you know, understand, like Brendan, I think Neil said as well, it's just your time frame, and Mark talked about this as well. You know, it's going to be a buy. I'm buying it right off the open, so I don't even care what the price is. But I'm going to buy this off the open, and then you know, wait to see what happens. I want to get more long. I think Coinbase is the next, like, I basically just want to sell all my JP Morgan and just dump it into Coinbase. I just want to see where the right level is. You know, I didn't start buying JP Morgan until we got low. You know, my JP Morgan buy is sub 100, right? You guys know that. Shout out to Daryl as well, buying that with me at that point. But this to me is a huge, huge level. And it's 338. I mean, we touched there a bunch of times. This is a 3-minute chart, so you could just see I just drew the line there. You know, yesterday, 330, I was trying to break that level as well. We were buying it in here in the after show, and it just didn't really do anything. I wasn't able to do anything. I was up 50 cents net on Coinbase. Then I made another trade, and I got out of it. I was up $1.50 on Coinbase because I just kept hoping that we would start ripping, and it didn't move. It was very, very, like, static yesterday. So if you get this break, again, could it fail? For sure, but you're going to have a VWAP down here about to 335. So I like a 338 break. I think that's much, much more likely to happen than anything down here in the teens. So let's just wait to see here. 338 break on Coinbase, and I'm a buyer for sure on the show, but I'm a buyer off open in my own account.
All right, let's go to crypto land. We mentioned Bitcoin trying to bounce off 60,000 currently. We are holding above for the time being. That 60,000 level. Let's talk about some of these equity-based stocks that are going to move along with crypto. We mentioned this morning, Neil and I were talking this morning in the pre-market here about how we saw a lot of these individual names come off sharply late in the day yesterday when Bitcoin wasn't really doing anything. So now we're seeing a little bit of follow through. I mean, take your pick here, guys. Where do we want to go with crypto land?
I mean, we can go. I'll go to SOS because I know everyone's. Well, there's a lot of people always talk about SOS and Mara, so might as well start there. And to Brendan's point, there was that sharp sell-off. It was like a capitulation, a crash through 425. And sort of the first thing I thought about was that 425, which then eventually held. You're going to see here at like 1:30 or so, about 1:30 in the afternoon. That's now holding, 420, 425 in the pre-market. Right when we're bouncing off 60,000, if you kind of figure out what I'm going to get at here is, if we test and break 60,000 in spot, I mean, I don't see any way around sort of shorting like that 420, like shorting a bottom break here. And if we can actually, if the pullback is that muted, and then we start actually breaking off 60,000, making a bit of a run. I mean, it's sort of an easy pickings 440 long. I mean, you basically came down here in the afternoon and held a 440, and then you're going to hold that as now resistance to the upside. So the levels are very, very clear. I'm not touching this thing inside of the 20 cents. I don't see any reason why I'd have to get involved in a day trade, but I'm going to be watching spot price. It breaks 60,000. If we're not even at 420 yet, I might fade into it and then just go short on the break. Certainly, if I've taken a long at that point at 440, I would probably take it off if we breach that 60,000 level. So, gonna have to be watching spot. Make sure you have access to that. The SOS is likely the vehicle I'm gonna go to today to express the trades.
Yeah, I just want to. I was just mentioning to Brendan there. I'm just going to correct you guys. Like nothing really tanked. I think it was just SOS there. So I think it was just specific. You did have this move into the open, but then in the afternoon, like Mara moved higher, Riot, like everything moved higher, and that's why I think you're going to go short on SOS. Makes sense because it was down. But Riot, Mara, I mean, I'll have to check SI. I'm not sure what that did in the afternoon. But you see a nice little move up, and again, it's going to follow Bitcoin. So to me, the 60,000. Again, we've talked about Bitcoin 60,000. Like, I mean, here's the daily chart. I mean, if I can, maybe I'll call up a daily actually. This is still an hour chart. Oh, wow, we're still, okay, I guess got to fast forward here. Yeah, 60,000. We've already bounced around here, a bunch. Like there was a few days in here, if we zoom in a little bit closer, where we've actually got to 60,000. And like Neil was saying there, we've held, like we held again. But even if we dip, like I'm not sure how far we'll dip here, but the 100-period moving average is all the way down here, 48. So, I mean, again, I don't know how technical people are going to use crypto, but we do talk about it going from the 5,000s, right? So, sorry, 500s. So you went from, again, 55, it touched 55, went to 60, bounced around a little bit, and then exactly on point, basically, touches 65,000 before dropping back to 60 again. So I think, and I've gone over this. Here's the break of 55, up to 60, back to 55, back to 60, break down to 50 and holding, and then, you know, so every single one of these bricks here is 5, right? And so it's amazing how those levels have held, and I'm with you guys. If this breaks to the downside, then you'll probably do a little dance. And then I think in the next couple of days, we probably do eventually get to 55. So I think on a 60 break, you'll probably start buying it, I guess, 57 and change makes sense to me. And then I'm predicting the ultimate bottom, not the ultimate bottom. I don't know where the ultimate bottom is going to be, but I think a good buying spot, if you want to take a little bit of risk, would be 55,000. But for today, you have Mara, an aggressive move up there in the afternoon, like I said, from 38 to 43. Like, okay, right there, that's almost 20%. Right there. So like 17, 18% there on the move up. So if you crack lower here, we're going to watch out for Mara breaking through 38.50 to the downside. That's the name that I'd watch. We're down 6%. But I don't know if we break that 60,000. So for me, I'd actually take a break of 41, much more aggressive than a break of 38.5.
Yeah, just to clarify, what I meant, guys, was that move, and you can see it there on Mara as well, was this move here. Right when we came on, there was some selling that came in. So Mara did end up closing way stronger, along with Riot as well, than some of the other ones, but that's what I was referring to. Let's go to Morgan Stanley, guys. Reported net revenues of $15.7 billion, beating right across the board. Top and bottom lines were great for Morgan Stanley, as we talked about. Really not a lot of action here in the pre-market this morning for any of the banks, really, but MS, one of the higher on the volume scale, at least.
Yeah, I mean, higher because the report comes in and look, they blow it out across the water. Like everything about it, about the report was fantastic. But again, all of the banks did well, and I sort of said it wouldn't have been crazy when Goldman reported to just take your profit on Morgan Stanley, and it's like it is what it is, because you take that opportunity, and if you happen to like Coinbase on the first day and weren't waiting until like day 2 or day 3 to buy, I mean, clearly you should have waited, but at the end of the day, if you want to put money somewhere else, it made a lot of sense. Morgan reports last, everyone was going to blow it out of the water. That's exactly what happened here today. Now you're going to see a trade in the pre-market. This is one of those just rubber band type of things. I mean, they blow it out of the water, and I just sitting here watching the stock go down. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Where is first support? So I just simply pulled up the 15-minute chart. I was like, okay, let's look at this 79 level. I'll take a long going into that level, and I'm just going to see if we can't get a retracement. Now, did I even think we're going to immediately go to 81.5? No. Obviously, that's why I dumped most of the position for that winning here through C in front of 80.50. I think that this range is going to be useful today on Morgan Stanley. I think if we dip down to that 79, I'll probably take another shot at it again. And I think we have resistance through that 82. I'd love to be able to tell you these are going to break out and continue to run, but they've now all reported all the big six. There is a decent chance that with tech continuing to push and the NASDAQ going higher, that the banks could end up still lagging this move, unfortunately. So it's like a muted. I'd love for a break to happen, but I really am more anticipating them to get like a long in front of like 79.50 and try to be patient. Again, if it breaks 79, I'll just sort of step away and then regroup. Morgan's a vehicle today just simply because they had the last earnings, but you could probably look at the same thing on any one of the big six.
Now, I actually added here, if you guys are following at all on, I don't know, I put my sticky note up, but I did add to this. So I did, here's a sticky note. We talked about a few names. And then I just put a little note here, add BAC 3920 breakout. So I like the 39.20 breakout on BAC. I mean, here it is right down here. We topped out at that, or bottomed out, I guess, at that before taking off, and then topped out right here before coming all the way to the downside on that break. But that break has nothing to do with 39.20. That was coming down. We tried the long here. We liked the BAC earnings this day. Like, what a joke that was. Coming all the way in. Palantir just breaks 23. NEO probably heading lower as well right now. 39.20, so that's right here. It's bank season, baby, and we'll see if we can't catch that back on the upside right there. And that should be a good one. And then JP Morgan is another one that I've always watched. But again, ooh, that scared me when I saw 134. I was like, oh my God, what happened? But no, it's still going back up. So whatever. I mean, a lot of these banks, again, it looks like Morgan Stanley May and WFC might be the only ones that actually trade higher on the day they report, but we'll wait to see. Citigroup did as well. So actually, I guess it's about mixed. You're going to go probably 2 for 4 on those names, and then some of the small regional banks. We'll check in Goldman Sachs, one of the bigger investment banks, of course. 154 here on JP could be something. We stopped there a couple days ago, and then it was the high 2 days ago, 154.75. So we'll look at that. Oh no, your boy just got in. So now we're already, see, I say uh-oh because, again, I just don't like getting in before the market opens, but whatever. We're long at 22 right now on BAC, a decent position for me. I was thinking it wasn't gonna break, but with 10 minutes to go, we break. So now we're gonna have to go over the lower levels here. I still have some bids at 39 if that can come through. We're already at 27. I mean, I may just take some of this out already on BAC if we can get some 27s. You know what? I'm gonna put an order there at 27 and see if we can't get a few shares out there. I'll take 5 cents right now. So anyways, there it is. So nice little win there to start. That's a quick little one there on BAC. I still think it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I put some profit in the pocket. I think we get to 40 or at least this 39.80 level where we sort of had some action yesterday in this dump. So there it is. We'll get a little revenge on BAC today and hopefully take this one a little higher. I like it. 40 was the top. We'll see if it can get back there. I don't think it's unreal on Morgan Stanley strength.
All right, too simple, guys. Let's talk about that IPO from yesterday. It's an autonomous truck company that came to market for the first time. I mean, it's the only reason it's worth noting, I think, today is because of this $40 level. We came back to exactly where it started the day and closed basically flat on the session. We are down here this morning, but I mean, if it gets anywhere close to $40, hard to ignore this.
Yeah, and that's what we were doing in the afternoon show. It was just saying, I mean, come on, how are we going to retest this? And we said this to the open. How's it going to retest this level in the afternoon, sort of come off it, and then now can't even hold that dip was right in here to 38.65, which we're going to get to in a second. So it can't even hold that, and then we can't get a retest of 40 even. For sure, if it gets to 40, I'm taking a shot. There's no question to the short side. And I probably wouldn't even reverse into a long if it broke. I'd probably still say, no, it has to break out to an all-time high, jokingly. But this other level here, and sometimes you see icebergs, and you might think, oh, wow, look how good this 38.50 looks. It's done 25,000 shares pre-market, so this is literally no volume, that level. If it had done like a couple 100,000 shares or like even 100,000 shares had changed hands here, I might believe in this level a little bit more at 38.50, guys. But I'll probably look to see if it can't show some strength. If it does, I might start a position that I think I can take to the high of the day around that 38.50 with the full idea that it might be 2 cracks at it, with the bigger one being at that 40 even. But I'm only really thinking short on this name. I just don't see how I can take a long position in TSP unless I'm maybe, and that's a huge maybe, defending 36.50. It's just, after the way we saw it flush, there's almost no way I can be a buyer on this thing today. There's so many other places I know most people are probably interested in putting their money after seeing this price action.
Yeah, I mean, a couple interesting names yesterday. We talked about eBet earlier on. That should be a good one as well. We're looking at some 42 breaks there, 44 breaks and whatnot. AMD yesterday on Twitter, it's alive. AMD yesterday up that 6.5%. A lot of people excited. All right, it's a nice little dance, some Chris Tucker action there. Yeah, so we posted that yesterday, and it was alive yesterday. AMD just got lit up. They took out the 50 period. We're ready to rock and roll. I know Brendan and I have been buying this thing down here. It's been a great one. We talked about this. I put a decent amount of capital in this play right down here, down to 74, 75. My last buy was 77. We talked about that as well. Up to 83, 84. I still think we test new highs. This is a 3-minute chart. 84.40, man, why not? And then buy it down here to 83. So that was what I put. Again, it's right there on the bottom there. AMD, 83. Let's see, does it hold this 83 level? We tanked down. I mean, I was long in the after show. You guys saw that, or in the after show. It's like the afternoon show. I'll just keep calling it the after show, I don't care. Okay, all the way downside, and then it just kept holding this 82.80. So I think we have a decent base there at 82.80. If it cracks that, you could definitely short this thing. It has been weak, so I don't have any problems shorting it. Again, I'm in it for the long run on this one. So there it goes, man. BAC. Let's get those bulls kicking right now on BAC as we are now 9 cents in the money. Pretty good for me. But 82.70, 82.80. Anyways, long story short, with this is not, but but I have bids here, 83.20, 83, and then we'll wait to see what happens at the low side. But maybe this stock wakes up again for a second day, Brendo.
All right, let's go to MTSL. There's a couple of little ones at the bottom end of the list. Alcoa reported, not terribly exciting, but possible infrastructure type idea if you want to look at AA. MTSL up nearly 100% here. Little tiny float on this, so be careful if you are trading this. That's the pink line up there is 6. So 590 to 6, there's a bit of an area if you go back far enough on the daily chart. Really want to see this break down first and then look for a bounce to short. But MTSL, big mover in the pre-market, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And Randy, the big mover, has furnished us with some Timbits. He's going down the line here, so he speaks to my sweet tooth. What did you pick? Was that the old-fashioned there, Sean?
I think this is a sour cream glazed. Sour cream glazed.
No, I got the chocolate right here. I'm not. Look, I promise I'm not gonna. I'll do my best not to be chewing and talking to you guys at the same time. Alcoa on the list here, guys, and of course, you know they usually start off earnings season. Not always the first name to report, but always at that beginning. Strong numbers. It's gonna be on the watch list, guys. Look, materials had made a big push, and you're going to see that. I showed you the daily chart very, very briefly. Let's just go back. Materials have made a really big push. You're into a bit of a top here on Alcoa. Now, there's almost two ways that you got to think about playing this one, right? Because you look at this 34.25 double top, and you say to yourself, breakout, 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 breakout. That's all you're thinking for sure. But I've got to be willing to both play this in both directions. And if it's going to fail off of a double top like this, am I going to want to have something short in that like 80 range, 75, 80, call it that, to the downside? Of course, I want to be able to play it in both directions. But first things first, we're holding up rather nicely at the top, and we're going to make a decision off that top end break. Now, if I like that short on a failed break, down around this level, that kind of goes without saying that that's what you're going to give a breakout to. So Alcoa, with a few minutes to go here, on the march, and just noting again, you know, Coinbase right back to that 320 level. It is like the gravitational pull on that stock towards 320 is getting a little bit out of hand. So the first thing might even be a long defense. I kind of thought we'd be looking at a breakout as the first trade on Coinbase, and it again might be testing that low.
Okay, yeah, we're getting ready. Yeah, Randy for president. Yeah, you're right about that one. Thank you so much, Randy, for that. Okay, we'll go over some of these other levels. We haven't really talked about Alcoa yet. I do like that break on Alcoa. Again, and part of our watch list. Are we still doing the watches, Brendan, or do you just want me to keep going here?
What was that?
Okay, good. So we'll go with Alcoa. Higher on better earnings, better forecast here, 34.20. We like Alcoa to go to the long side today. Your earnings per share of 46 cents, revenue of 2.63 billion, both topping estimates. So AA for the win here, I think. We have the infrastructure bill. I mean, we talked about some of this with Mark Roberts. I mean, let's just hope that you know, President Biden, not my president, because we have Prime Minister Trudeau here. And I don't really want to say my comments about him either. So, but not that I have a negative opinion on either one of them, just rather not speak about it because I'm pissed off about our vaccine rollout. Like when I'm watching Mad Money and stuff and Jim Cramer is talking about Ontario, I don't even know if he knows where that is, but you know, like that, it's just embarrassing that we're an example now. And we're supposed to have, you know, a nice healthcare system. We just need privatized healthcare and then we get that fixed. But okay, Alcoa through the top here, 34.20. That was the top today. We can have a check to see if that's going to break out. I believe it does. We'll wait to see BAC with the big buy. We're already in the money, 10 cents on that one. Pfizer with the buy. I don't see Alcoa here. That's kind of what I wanted to look at. We're only 2 minutes away now.
It doesn't usually, but
yeah, I don't see it here. But it's done. Yeah, I mean, it's only 85,000 shares. So we'll wait to see where that one goes. But here we go again. The cash register. The bank is open here for Tim Duncan today as BAC just keeps on going in 22s, out 28s. Out some 35s here. And then now we wait for 40s and 50s and more and more and more. BAC was on my list, one of the better stocks to trade today. We added that through 39.20. Glad we took it on the pre-market break. Let's go.
Yeah, and whoa, eBet, again, just pounded through the 50 level. Look, I think at some point it's going to come back around. And I had to pay, it was 48 bucks. For every 100 shares you're going to pick up on this name. That's to the short side. That's what's going to cost for locates. But keep in mind, the stock has now a pre-market range of $14. So I mean, it's clearly going to be volatile enough that if you can't make back like essentially like 50 cents a share, if you can't make back 50 cents a share in a trade in this, then you probably shouldn't be trading it. So if it makes a push and it looks like it's going to right into this 54, 55 range, I got to think that's going to be the first level to test. And again, always have a stop. I don't feel like you can short something like this without one, and watch out for those halts, especially off of the open. It halted multiple times. I do not want to get caught in any kind of a halt in this stock, but I'd already be looking at that rollover, and I'd probably be short, if not for my rule of I do not sell into a push like this right at 9:30. I tend to avoid it. Let's see what happens. It looks like it might now test that high, but it was at 55 level I wanted to be testing the first time. And watching Morgan Stanley and SOS. Morgan has not made its break here, guys, but I'm probably going to be on this level too of the chart of EBET to start the day. It's still getting around. It's going to be the most volatile name, so I wanted to make sure I'm focused on it. Dropping the countdown, and if he's bringing his Timbits, that means he's on the bell. There is Randy. You can do whatever you want. You can break it today after you brought me a chocolate Timbit. What's he got going there? Okay, that was rather muted, Randy. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. I thought you could do a little better than that.
All right, let's go on to some trading here, guys. 83.21. We just pick up that little bid there on AMD. We talked about taking a little bid on AMD. We'll see what happens. What you got over there?
So, okay, I just tried to take a little bit of a short position in this EBET. I didn't get it, and then look, it flushed. Come on, give me a fill. You got to be kidding me.
Neo taking out the bottom as well, guys.
You got to be kidding me. He's dropped like $5 off of the open. I actually just got something at 52. It get up to 55. I can't let this halt on me, but that was a redonkulous move to the upside there.
All right. Yeah, so we took it short here on NIO, breaking that bottom that we talked about. Don't know if this is going to come through or not. AMD as well, back down to 83. So we are long and strong on a lot of these names. Short Neo, long AMD right now with a lot of shares, guys. So we got to have to make sure that we manage this and able to get this out. So we're not playing around again. So I don't know. I got to manage this, Neil. Some real shares on board here.
Yeah, you know what? I actually just took this trade off at 50. I'm going to take a $2 winner and walk away from this one. This is a little bit crazy on EBET. I'm going to let it calm down a little bit and see if it can't catch a bounce, and then I can get back into it. But I'm going to take the win where it is. The price action was absolutely insane. Of course, I take it off too early. Now it's going to 47. Likely to halt to the downside. If this halts down, I'm going to formulate a plan to get back into it at some point. But what an unbelievable first open was. Liquidity basically at like Banana Republic levels on EBET, and I think it's about to go into a halt state. Just to go to Coinbase for a second, of course, this is with the NASDAQ. This is actually just bouncing off of that 320 once again. So that is a level. I will go long in front of 320. It even sniffs if it shows its face again.
Guys, we've got some bangers on right now, big time. Like we talked about Neo going to the downside. So that one, guys, the first bang of the day happening right now. Let's go bang for the Neo bottom. We talked about hitting that, guys. 34.75, 34.50. We hit that 34.50 and cashed a bit out. But the only other problem right now, of course, as you're going to see in a second here, if I can call it up on the screen, is AMD. We did defend. We got a little bit out there. BAC ripping as well. So happy times on BAC. Neo to the downside, though. We get some more out on Neo. Cash, oops, that's the daily chart. Cash. One short and reaping the benefits right now. Best out here, 12s or 15s, something like that. Okay, AMD, I see you. It's trying to go, guys. We got some nice outs here. You see my average price is 05 on AMD. Let's go, NASDAQ. Let's just go. This will be a monster day if this goes.
Yeah, and this is exactly why I try to get out of that EBET, because it's snapping right back to the upside. If it tries another move off of 54, I'm going to try the same rollover trade, but not going to let it go through that high. You got to watch out. And I got this EOFI. Just picked up Coinbase for the 321 as well, guys. Got this EOFI. It's making a run to VWAP. I'm doubling down on that one as well.
Let's go.
Brendan?
What up, Brendan?
More earnings, guys. EHang, remember we mentioned right at the end of the show yesterday, EHang reported down 10%, was higher in the pre-market, just got flushed there. $3 straight to the downside for EHang, guys.
Okay, so there goes Alcoa, and you guys, whatever. I mean, this is just bang again on Alcoa. We give you guys this break. I tell you all about this. And then there it is again. Your boy is just hot fire today. BAC ripping, AMD ripping, Alcoa taking. Bye-bye, Alcoa. Adios, amigos. As we just keep on going to the high side now with Alcoa. Let's just get some out, man. This has been an amazing run here for AA. Bang! We are huge today, guys. Another one, 34.20. Upside, go. Neil, I don't know how your positions are going, but this one is bangerific right now. And BAC as well, bangerific on BAC. We are just making that cash right now. I don't know if Larry's bringing me a coffee. I hope not. That tasted like crap. BAC to the
It wasn't that bad.
Let's just keep on going. Alcoa, 65 cents in the money. Hells yeah, spin it.
The coffee's not that bad, guys. If you want 320, guys, we talked about it here. You can't let that level go. We just got 321.40 in front of it. Going to quickly take a $2.50 winner. It's just, honestly, it's that simple every single time it tests that level. So if we can get back up to the 325, I'll take $5. You got to look for those $2, $3, $4, $5 scalp trades on Coinbase off of that 320 level. As long as it wants to stay here, that's the only level in town. That's the only game in town to play off of it. Brendan?
Big volume alert, guys, on DraftKings. Just came back into 59 there and held very nicely. So heading back to the upside here, $60 next for DKNG.
All right, DraftKings to the upside here. I mean, everything, guys. Like, we got out of our Neo alive, thank God. Once it broke 50 there, we got out, and then we take out our last 5% on that rip. Look, I mean, I just need AMD to go. It doesn't look like it wants to, guys. We're going to get out of this one soon. We tried this. It did take all the way downside. It was a runner yesterday. Doesn't look like it wanted to do it today. So, I mean, I'm not even upset about this one. I should be, because it's a loser. But the damage that we're doing there goes out. So, AMD, we tried to take it. It worked a little bit there. But AA, man, that was, I mean, we got out at 35.20 there on that initial push. What a monster move AA was there to the upside. I think we got to go and look at a short now for NIO at some point, because that took off a little bit too much. Thank you there, Miss V. Your green has provided us much luck so far today.
Absolutely. Oh, of course, frozen chart when I try to go to that name, so I guess I can't do it. I want to come back to, if I can, Tesla for a brief second here. Come on, chart. Do not fail me at this particular moment. Market is moving too much. Yeah, of course. Frozen, frozen, frozen. Any of mine working? There we go. There's a 15-minute it'll have to do here. Tesla making a break to the bottom, 720 to that downside here. You're going to see a moving market. And, of course, we just broke 14,000, so momentum is low. All I got is EFOI to the short side and Coinbase heading towards 330, so that's going upside. If we get any kind of a bounce at 720, I'm watching closely into NIO to see if I can maybe pop into a little bit of shares there. Brendan, is it?
A couple days ago, guys, we had data from Bio-Nano Genomics, BNGO. Not seeing anything as far as an update to that story, but we are pretty significantly down this morning. It did come down here and hold 550, but heads up volume on BNGO.
Yeah, bingo was definitely, that's Nemo, that's for sure. AA to the upside. We're trying one more time here on our friend AMD. We're going to try it at 50. I'm going to give it all the way down to 82.25. So if it goes down that next quarter, then we're going to get out of that one and just call it a day, because, you know, we're losing obviously on this name. So, you know, it doesn't look like it's as strong as we had hoped it was. We're definitely falling off. I put down, will it hold 83? And I said that probably would have been a better smash down through 83. But again, the NASDAQ downside here, we're just going to try to hold this one. But everything, man, like this Alcoa trade, just over the moon on this one. We did take a decent amount of shares there and then just busted it right to the upside. So I do like that Alcoa, and I love Coinbase. We've talked about that as well, but I'm not in it. I'm just still waiting for that. Like I said, it's not really trading that crazy today, and it wasn't really trading too crazy yesterday. I'm still waiting for this break up here, 338. Other than that, I'll look at that in a minute, but I just got to manage these other positions.
Yeah, it's just, look, Coinbase is range bound. I think got to scalp it to death. That's how we're going to have to do it. So if it comes back to 320, I'll play that level. TSP, now I can forget about that 3860 or 3850 area. It doesn't even have that much strength, so it looks like we're only headed downside. It just tried to get back up towards this 38 level, and I think I'm going to try first leg here. Just got the fill there, so 37 3/4. We're going to grab a bit of a short. We'll work this one into the opening range highs. Remember, there was that iceberg at 3850. Not on a ton of volume, so caution, guys. It wasn't a ton of volume this level that it worked off of. eBet did halt to the downside there. I'm like, you know what, let's just back off that till it actually halts down. Now it's halted down. We have 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes till it opens back up. But TSP is a new position for me. Short side on all kinds of weakness on this day 2 IPO. Brendan?
I noticed Workhorse and Nikola both were higher in the pre-market, guys. Workhorse just popping back up here on volume now 4%. Just got back above $12. Not a huge move yet, but volume on Workhorse, guys.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, some of these names have been just so beat up. I mean, the drop in Fisker, Workhorse, Ride, like all of those. I mean, Nikola has been for a while, but all of them are just well documented and just been nasty move to the downside there. Okay, talk about different nasty moves here. I mean, I'm still in all of these positions. We'll wait to see what does happen. I'm waiting for AMD to go for sure. But BAC back in. We're out. So I'm out of 2/3. I still have a third of this BAC. Just to tell you guys, we got up up to that near that 50 level. I take this out all the time. We're long at 22, a bunch of outs here in the 30s, as you can see. So now we have about a third left. So it still needs to go for me. Would be really nice. It's right back to these defense levels. So if we like the banking sector today, this is probably a decent spot to pick up a little bit more BAC here as we're ready to go. So
you know what's cool? Oh,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but like, you know what's crazy? Like that entire time you're talking about BC actually moving. Like look at Morgan Stanley. Like you got to be kidding me, right? Like
right, nothing's moving.
It can't even break the top. So like 81.80, no 82 break. It's finally starting to come back down. I wanted to defend this thing if it were to flush, but it's basically been range bound and boring. That TSP is trying to make a move. I said 2 cracks at it we would take. 2 separate trade areas that we would make. This is the first area that we're going to have, of course, at pre-market level. If it fails off of 38.50, I'll try to pick some more shares up to the short side there, but we're still in the midst of that range. And then Coinbase, I mean, I guess if I was willing to short it, which we said we should be able to go both ways in this thing. And I'm sort of going against myself here by not taking the trade, because if you did short in front of that 330 level, it's sort of the same thing. It's giving you that look for a pullback. I still think I'm taking a 330 breakout, see what happens, but it's a 320 you got to load up on. Brendan?
So there's eHang and there's eBang. We'll talk about eBang now. So EBON. I noticed a couple of people talking about this in the pre-market. I didn't find anything significant on this, but definitely showing its hand here early, back to 450 for eBang, guys.
Yeah, okay. We talked, I mean, the eHang is that hilarious helicopter, but the eBang, we'll find out. Oh, there it is. How many likes is that? That's 1,000 likes right there. Thank you so much for that. As we are on Merchandise Friday, you can pick up this, and as you can see on the back, you'd rather be trading.
Always.
Okay, guys, hello?
Well, almost.
Hey, there it is. I'd rather be trading, so you can see that on the back there. And a shout out to Daryl and a bunch of you guys out there that do have these shirts. Thank you again for supporting us. Alcoa right back to the upside again. So we averaged into BAC now, and we're getting near that spot. I'm not going to let this drop below 305. So that's going to be my kill spot right now, 39.05 on the downside of BAC. I lost trading the banks the last couple days, so this should be no new news to anybody here as we're getting ready to go short now. Well, we're long, but if it breaks through 305, we're going to be out of that trade. So right now, the bank stock's not looking great. It looks like we'll take a bath on these ones, guys. But I'm defending that 39.05, and it looks like it's going to just get broken now. So then we should get, there we go. So now we are out. So we'll fall in a hole there on BAC. And again, good thing we took out a little bit of profit there, but still a negative stock there. BAC to the downside for me right now. Unfortunately, it does break that level.
I can't even understand why Morgan Stanley's not even moving. I'm kind of disappointed. I might have to go to a different bank stock, and that's for sure. This eBond here, look, I'm going to call it eBond. I'm a symbol guy, not a company name guy. If you've been around here long enough, you know that. I'm watching it test and fail at 460 over and over and over. I mean, 3 times it's happened. His third time going to be a charm. If it finally breaks out, I usually short levels like this, but I'll take a shot through the high of the day. And then if it's a quick failure at 470, I don't mind reversing into a short. So if we get like a 462, it looks like is the actual top, I'll take out the high, knowing that if it can't immediately sort of put pressure on that 470, I am going to get out of that trade because the breakout style trade. Brendan?
So I mentioned with Mark Roberts this morning that BioNTech was kind of on my radar a little bit this morning because China came out and said July they're targeting to approve their COVID-19 vaccine. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row to the upside. All-time highs, guys, for BNTX.
Oh my God, I missed BAC. I tried to punch it again, back through. Oh man, too bad we got out there at 05. I tried to punch back through 05 there, so we're on 08. There we go, so we got it. Okay, so we just got some 08s there as it ripped right back to 15. We do have that bottom at 39. It looks like that may break. That'll be our out if it does break. But yeah, what a crazy day there. Well, I just got out of some AMD as it went in the money, 20 cents, but it looks like we're failing again here. So AMD went in the money here. We can defend this. We're right at this level. So if it breaks that back down below 82.25, we're out. We also do, guys, we just took a nice play on AA. Now we're out completely of AA. A huge stock for me. Basically, my whole day right now was AA. So we'll have to wait. Everything else is like a flat trade for me. AMD, of course, was not a flat trade. Neither was BAC. So NEO, we made that money back, and I'm looking to short NEO again. Maybe some more work, but 35. I mean, if this market chills out and comes back to the downside, I do think NEO does retest lower, but just got to do some work on those levels, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it did go right through that 34.50, right to that 34, which kind of makes me sick because that's what we sort of talked about. But I mean, I was watching that eBet, which just opened it back up on some weakness. TSP, first leg, we're going to get out in front of 37. So we take some profit there. Look, it's about a 60-cent winner, 50-cent winner we're going to take. And then if it makes another test, we talked about that 36. If it goes all the way down to that price, I'll get out. I never said I wanted to defend it, but I said if I was ever considering a long, it might be around that 36 level. So that's where I would certainly take out some short trades. EBET, I mean, I don't know what to make of this stock. It's very, very frustrating trade as, there we go, just got that EBON break. Can it take out 470 is the real question. All my action in here, short, out, reverse long, out. So EBET looks like it's about to halt again if it breaks through that 42 level. And I missed my shot on this one. Reopen, and if it takes out the low, you got to be looking at this one at the south side. Alert, if you guys are still long this one and are in the money, might want to be taking some profit at least. Brendan?
I mentioned this one late in the day yesterday. If you joined us on the afternoon show, Bally's had news. It was halted for most of the afternoon. Came out. There were rumors that they were going to announce an offering, but they actually came out and said they're going to look for some sort of private investment to help them out as far as their liquidity is going. So just had a volume alert there to the upside, guys, on Bally's.
Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. There was some different news on Bally's in the last little while. So, I mean, some of these casino stocks have been great. We talked about MGM. Those of you that are in Win, anything like that, you'll be able to see where that's going. AMD falls down again. So that's not going to be a stock that we're going to look at anymore today as it just keeps on going downside. So I guess it's not alive, AMD, right now. Just to check back in, we talked about Mara. We talked about some SOS and whatnot. If you go over here, Mara on the NASDAQ has made a move lower here. Where did my, okay. I was going to say, where did my blotter go there? Mara did make that move lower. We talked about breaking out some of those levels here. 38, I mean, this was before this 39.50. It does crack. I said we are likely to hit a 41 break, but that hasn't happened yet. As Bitcoin right now, it's just hovering. It hasn't done anything yet. It's trying to break that 60,000. So we are right now on a 1 minute chart. Come on. Where's Bitcoin? I got to find out how to use this charting platform a little bit better because I can't keep scrolling like that. There it is. So Bitcoin now making a move down, 60,900. So next stop, you know, we're going to look at the 60,600. That could be a stopping point, but Bitcoin coming to the downside. So if you are looking at Mara or anything like that, you can see here just on the 1 minute, it's already made a bottom, but it's looking like it's getting more pressure right now from BTC, guys. Bank of America, we made everything back right now on this big buy. What's up, B?
Virgin, finally, finding a little bit of bid here, just popped up to the upside, 3.5%, coming back to 24. 24 was a bit of a level on the way down, if you remember. So we'll see what happens here for space, guys, moving to the upside.
Brandon, thank you so much for reminding me. I was sitting here and I had notes on space, and we never even got to. That's the thing. We get really busy in the morning. 24 was a level, but there was also a 23, 30 area that I sort of had pegged, and I'm going to kick my butt here because it was a pullback in 23.30, then the run to the upside. I kind of feel like now that break is gone, I do want to be on the side of fading it, and then you're going to see what happened here the first time in the afternoon, flushing 24, and then holding in the afternoon. I'll take a quick shot at this reversal in space, and 24.05 is the high of the day. I'll only give it to about that on the short side of the trade. There is one name, and I apologize for this because a lot was happening in the pre-market, and we never really got to EFOI. A bit of a gap of play. I don't think it actually made our watch list here today, but they did make a deal in the battery space. I was basically shorting into this level, like that 440 area, and then just getting out all the way down. It's just sort of sitting there in the money and rolling. Now I'm going to short every single pop into 425 on that name, and then see if we can't work that position. EBON, I'll go this. It was poo-poo, it was crap, it's whatever you want to call it. I try to give it a safe name. But that breakout, basically nothing doing. I said if it couldn't test 70 right away, whatever. I'm just getting out of it. Take the 5-cent hit. Find out that we don't have locate, so I can't even reverse into the short on that name. So no short for me. SOS, range bound. But it has broken 420 twice. What hasn't happened is that we haven't really been able to crack that 60. We bounced off 60,000. I was very, very close to taking the short. It didn't happen here. So if it does crack it, almost wherever the price is on SOS, I'm likely to take the short. It does feel like that's the trade that's going to come in for me.
Okay, so we could wind up giving everything back here, maybe. I mean, we'll see on NEO. So, okay, so there it is. So we are now, I'm just loading into the short here. We did clean up a lot of our BAC there on the upside there. I mean, it breaks through VWAP. That was a great opportunity there on a rally to the upside there. No idea what that was. So I told you that we wanted to get this long again back to the upside there. So, you know, thank God we were able to take some out here. And then now, again, if it comes back up here, then we could be flat on this trade. So a losing trade, hopefully turning into a winning one. 35.40 here is going to be my out. As NEO just ripping right now. Small short because we see this excitement to the long side, but I am holding this against this 35.40, but it looks like we may crack on that. What's up, Brendo? Valeria?
Hey Sean, no doubts that Dogecoin is the most popular name on the chat right now. But besides that, traders would want to know your opinion about Palantir and if you see any opportunities for yourself.
Okay, yeah, no, Palantir, no, I'm not very familiar with that stock, so I'll have to do a little bit of research with it, but no, just kidding, of course. 22.75 to the downside. Look, I mean, it's the same story on Palantir. I do have a bid down there right now, waiting to see what that can do, but here's the 20-minute chart again. We've held this 22, I mean, we've held so far this 22.75 pretty much the whole week, the whole month. We go down here, 22.68 is the very bottom, so 22.50 on a red day is going to be a problem. So I'm going to try to go long, defend this 22.75 area, you know, and then ultimately, if we go back downside, 22.50. So I think Palantir can go, but it's been disappointing. We had demo day, we had that huge run up in the last couple of days. You saw that bang right here. This is a minute chart, so you get a run up, then a run back down, up and back. So right now we're not doing much, but this is that move we talked about, right to the 50 period, and then back down. So we're gonna have to wait for Palantir, guys. I love this bottom, 22.65. So I'd say play off that.
Yeah, it's going to be the first trade of the day for me on QuantumScape. I waited for this to make a bit of a range here, but it popped downside. There was no sell into the strength. It actually broke down. It took out that 36, stalled out at 35.50. I'm like, okay, well, how far is it going to bounce? Does it hold this 36.80 to 37 area? It does. I jump into the short here, 36.64. I'll take some out in front of that 36 level, which you guys know all about, and then see if we can't ride the rest a little bit further down. Brendan?
Sunrun, guys, 4.8% renewable energy, clean energy name, whatever you want to call it. Just took out the highs there, the pre-market highs on some volume. They reported in the pre-market as well this morning, guys.
Sunrun. Okay, I'm going to get some bids downside here on NIO because we did have that short. We did hold this. We do like the short here on NIO. It just needs to come in for us. So there it is. We just get filled there. No, got to go in the 1 minute. There we did. So we did get filled. We are now short 19s right now on NIO. I like this trade.
Yeah, and we'll crash the plane here and. Well, I gotta stop using crashing for things that actually involve flying. But there's Virgin Galactic. I talked about the rollover. It didn't press up high enough to get an average position. Like it's not like I was able to sell 80s and then jump in and get some more in front of like 85, 90, 95. Look, I just was able to get the 80s. I'm gonna work it down to VWAP. I'm gonna hang on to some just in case we flush. The mistake I made yesterday on the short was not holding it long enough. But this is day 2. And the first move was to the upside. So you got to forget about the fact that I took half of this move. Monkey Shiner, if you had a winning trade on the short side, just understand it was a good call. I took it off too early as well. I'm sure a lot of people took their shorts off too early on Virgin Galactic, and it is what it is. You learn from it. I'd like to see it press down to 23.30 if I can get the full 50-cent move on it. No problem. I do think it's still good for a bounce off VWAP, and then another retest of 24, and that's what I'm going to be anticipating here.
Okay, guys, so we did it again here on NEO. So we're going to go 2 for 2 as now we turn. And again, remember, we have the ability to go both ways here. So an easy call for me here as we take that 35.40. I mean, it wasn't easy to hold because it was against us a little bit there. We had to average in 3 times. I do not normally like to do that. So there's that call there coming through us on NIO. So we just did take a little bit of a bid there at 03 and at 04. A nice trade. Happy to be able to cash that one in here as we continue to go. Yeah, just to let you guys know here, Bitcoin is taking out these lows. So it's been a nasty little move downside there. If you are willing to trade something, you can look at GBTC. We talked about that on the pink sheets. We had Jeff Mendel on there yesterday. So this is probably worth looking into here. GBTC, this is just a minute chart. There's no pre-market trading on our system anyways. Down to 50.49. So a nice move here. Almost down $1 right now on GBTC, guys. Check back in on Mara. Probably something very, very similar happening on Mara and on Riot. Yep, still trying to to take out new lows, and then Riot, the same thing over here, guys. Yep, still the same thing. So watch out here. If Bitcoin does, like Neil said, take that 60,000, it looks like it could get nasty.
There we go. It just got I just got into SOS. I just chased this. Well, I mean, I chased it a little bit, but every time I chased it further, I'm like, you got to take less shares. You got to take less shares all the way down, because I saw that crater that you're talking about, Sean, the pull back into 60 as SOS is making a test at the high. I'm like, huh? What? Okay, so I'm going to work off that. It was a 440 break, a fail break. Remember I said I don't want a 440 break unless we're bouncing to the upside in spot. That's not what happened here. I'm going to take my crack at it. I feel like this is one of those, I could 100% get squeezed. There's no question about it. That's a fear when you're making a move like this. Because if we bounce again and we make a fresh move to the upside and break 61,000, I know it's going to take out the top. And if I get stopped out and it ends up being top wick on SOS, that's something I'm just going to have to live with. But the other name, Coinbase, is hitting right towards that 330 break, guys. So 330 about to come into play any second now.
Yeah, you guys know I like that Coinbase play. Hopefully, I mean, long. I talked about going long off the open on Coinbase there in my own account, not here, guys. So I don't have any Coinbase trades anyways for right now. Hopefully, we'll get some in a minute. Neo, again, a good out there on the downside. Happy with the way that played out. So we are getting. I got to fix my stop order now because it's for way more shares than I have on board because we're out of NIO. I mean, we're still short it, but we're holding on to just a little bit here of NIO. What's up, Mr. Wicked?
I just saw this one pop up, guys. UAVS, Ag Eagle, that drone maker. Big move down this morning. Bounced off 450 at the bottom there. Volume coming in back to the upside, but not seeing anything in the way of headlines on this, but definitely a lot of volume. 6.5% for UAVS.
Yeah, gotta add it to the board, but I don't know if I can take another position here. But watching Quantum Space start to work to the downside, it looks like it's testing that 35.50. I'd like to hold for a breakdown through, just given the weakness. It just turned negative on the session. That's sort of that rollover point right here that I'm discussing. And 330 keeps holding on Coinbase. And I don't short in front of the level. It's now the second time I'm not doing it, and I'm not adding to the short positions that I have on. It is what it is. I mean, if it breaks out, fine. Getting some consolidation on Virgin Galactic. So, kind of what I like to do here is when I see a consolidation, my bid's just sort of in front of it. I could just take it out here if I wanted to, but why have a bid right below that level? If it flushes a little further down, I'll sort of play it by ear. I'm just going to hold on to what we have. I mean, we're in the money on all of the short positions that we're holding. The one I am sort of holding closer to the chest here because I never got the re-entry point. I never got more shares of SOS. So as we started to test lower, now we're actually bouncing on spot price. SOS is going the other way. I never got more, so I'm kind of stuck with what we got, and I'll have to take some out in front of 425, 420 as well. I do still feel like I want to add to this position if I get a chance to, just not if we're breaking out past that 61,000 level. I'll back away from SOS if that's the case. It just hasn't happened yet.
Okay, so yeah, we are back. Yeah, so just to talk about Palantir, good talk there about the Bitcoin's SOS and whatnot. Bitcoin is, I mean, look at this. What a bounce. And look where it bounced off of, basically 6,500 there. Bounces up, goes up $300 from there. So, again, we just talked about that. I gave you those breakdowns of some of those spots that we like. So hopefully you're able to take a little bit of advantage of that. Palantir, we just talked about that. I'm doing the same thing, guys. You asked for it. Thank you, Valeria, bringing that to our attention like it wasn't to my attention already. But 22.79, we do have that bid there. We got it. So now we're long 22.79 on Palantir. And we did just clean up more Neo to the downside there. It actually went in again back to 06, 07. So we did get out there. So now I'm just still waiting for that 39.40 to break right here, and then we'll get out. But for right now, I'm really happy with this trade. So happy that Neo, one of my top stocks today is Neo. But unfortunately, BAC does, oh man, what the hell? We got out and then we tried again along at 39.01, breaks it. Now we're back to the upside. Damn you, BAC. You're a funny stock today, man. We'll have to wait to see when and if I'm going to short that again. I may give it one more long down here, but it's been a fun one. The money's there on BAC, but it's a losing stock just overall for me because we did have that very out there. This last trade basically was long at 01s, out at 97s. That's basically my day right there. So we'll wait on that, but good trading so far here, Neil.
Yeah.
Everything working for me, man. Neo back downside.
Yeah, and okay, I reloaded. TSP, that's the Look, I don't want to use that was the garbage price action IPO from yesterday. I've only taken the short one time. We did scalp some out there, and I've reloaded at VWAP. It just can't seem to catch any kind of a bid. So there is a consolidation. It's close enough to my price. I do have room to maybe add at 38. So this is not a new position, but a new entry. And 330 just keeps on holding and holding and holding on Coinbase. I guess eventually it's going to break. It just wants to take its you-know-what time. It just wants to take its bloody time. If I have to sit here all morning to get that trade, it's going to be frustrating. I should have maybe taken some out of that consolidation on Virgin Galactic, but I am willing to add to that short if it retests 23.75. So if we get any kind of a bounce here, I want to stay to the short side till we take out that top 24 level. It was a failed break the first time. If I'm bearish on a stock and it gets a failed break at a key level, I'm shorting it. It's just that simple. You get those people with the snapback trades, and they're taking those long breakouts off. I want to be getting in when it happens. You guys are getting over to the big board for Happening Now with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, Friday, almost 10 o'clock. Let's get a look at North American markets here. I found the problem. The NASDAQ is, down 0.4%. That's really the only thing kind of weighing on the market right now. Not huge moves to the upside otherwise, but we are seeing tech stocks to the downside. Again, S&P, the Dow, both higher on the day. Even the Russell, 0.3% to the upside. Once again, here in Toronto, we're also negative on the session, only just 0.09%. A couple of things to keep in mind. We were talking about, Coinbase, didn't even get close to that bottom that we were mentioning over the past couple of sessions. We're kind of just chopping around once again, though, in this range, 320 up to 330 for Coinbase. Decent volume again today, though, on day 3 for that one. As far as crypto stocks, this one's faring among the worst. MSTR all the way down to 680 there at the bottom, trying to bounce, but very, very weak. You can see volume, more volume than normal on MSTR. Guys, back over to you.
It's a monster.
Yeah, this is frustrating. Look, Coinbase, look at this. Another pullback. Should have shorted it. It is what it is. But SOS here, just watching it come back to, spot come back to the downside. I finally threw an offer. I was waiting for it to pop up into the 438 range. It never really happened here, so I can pretty much go ahead and cancel that order and see if I can only get it on the way down. So it looks like we're going to have to chase it a bit, but as long as the pressure is to the downside, I don't mind building into it. I do want to come... I actually just saw Tesla making a move over there. But I did want to come to another name in the chip space, which I didn't mention. It was Intel. Now, I was watching Intel. I know you're looking at AMD there, Sean, but I watched this level here at about like 64.50 to 64.65. If there's any consolidation and shows any strength. On the dip, let's see if it shows some strength, Intel. I want to be a buyer of it. I own the stock, but I want to be a buyer of it if it can hold that sort of consolidation, that lower high. You had to flush out $1 lower, and if it holds that level, I think is a little bit of a bounce play in there.
My charts, it's not even, nothing's even responding, but we will wait here. We'll walk on water, first of all, with a little Palantir, because if I could call up the minute chart, I would love to do that for you guys here, and we'll see if it will refresh. Got to give it a second, but Palantir, we talked about, I just want to show you where we were able to get out. Here it goes, good. It's loading now, yay. Okay, here it is right now, Palantir. Out here, 86, 87, off of the 79. We did try to get some up here at VWAP. I was not paying attention, but it does go right to the upside there, so that, again, great opportunity to get out there on that move. So, we'll wait to see if it does give us some more bids to the low side. We do have more bids down here, so we'll see if we get picked up. But for right now, a nice win there. The bulls kicked a little bit on Palantir back to the upside. Even on a little bit of a NASDAQ run, it started to go up. So I'm feeling a little more bullish now on Palantir today because, again, it seems to be wanting to go here off this level. That was a good sign to me. Right back to VWAP. Let's just be smarter next time and get some out on the upside there for PLTR. So that's my little look there on Palantir. And again, guys, thank you for bringing that to our attention. NEO goes upside, we get out, but hey, we go daps up on NEO, man. A good trade for us. Out, and then up. So, we're out here, out, and then out there. That's like a 10-cent hit compared to these 20-cent winners. What up, Beep?
Semiconductor name, LSCC, little one, being added. Let me double check. I think it's the mid-cap 400. Lattice Semiconductor. There's one of these a week now, it seems, being added to the S&P 400 mid-cap. 10.5%, guys.
Yeah, and look, one of the things I heard talked about is like it's the hold crypto, but sell other things to get that money in. So look, we noticed that Doge just broke 40, just pulled back into it, and it's an amazing move. We're seeing money come out of places, day trading in equities, of course. You're going to see me short basically everything. I'd love to buy that Coinbase on a break. It just doesn't seem to want to go. I'll buy the dip, and I'll take that 321 trade again, which is definitely a good one on Coinbase. But Clover Health here is my 15 minute. You're going to see it turn around right at that 790 to 8 even area. So when you guys get those breakout longs, always look to these levels. You got to start thinking about taking some profit because even had I noticed Clover Health before you guys, thank you guys for putting this one out in the chat, I probably would have been looking to short this on the way back down, like a 790. Now, obviously, that's come and gone. So if it wants to be able to hold like a little VWAP bounce, maybe there's going to be a secondary play here. But that's one of those points where you got to start thinking about where you want to take your scalp profits, or maybe if you had an overnight swing or whatever it might be, you got to know where the shorters are probably going to come in. I'm still in this TSP, which is doing absolutely nothing. So if you see me ignore it, it's down there at the bottom. If there's an actual change, I'll talk about it. But you can see it's doing literally nothing. And NIO. Low, please. There you go. Yeah, so NIO here. I'm sort of with you, Sean, but I've been trying to be patient because I'm kicking myself over that bottom. I talked about that 34.50, and then of course did nothing, and I'm watching it shoot up, and I sort of see this 35.75 area. And it's going to be hard not to defend it in front of that price. I'm seeing some, the weakness in the market is getting a bit of a bounce, but if it doesn't crack the 14,000 on the NASDAQ, which certainly could turn into some resistance, I think a rollover makes a ton of sense here on NIO in front of that 35.75 to 36 area.
So I'm going to give a shout out here and an all points bulletin to Brendan because I think Pinterest was on our board yesterday, not on today, I don't think, unless I missed it. Down 10% now. Pinterest, just no green candles in sight right now. So Pinterest all the way to the downside. It's broke below its 50-period moving average, and it looks nasty right now. So I want to think about defending this 75 area here on Pinterest. I mean, it's been a good one. Out. Like, these bottoms here, pretty sweet there on PINS, but maybe we can find out some news if Brendan gets it. Obviously, he'll bring it to us ASAP. But again, don't know if you guys know anything about Pinterest here to the downside. I don't know, was there earnings? But downside 76.50 right now, looking like a good break there. So if we can get pins going, we will take that, but we're just going to wait on see if there's any news there on PINS. Palantir, might as well take some out, right? And there it is. We take in long again, and we are long and strong and in charge. And there it is. Bang. There it is again. A nice little Palantir win for us. We talked about defending these bottoms. It does break 75. I told you we're going to wait for 22.50 to go. What up, B?
So April 27th is earnings for Pinterest. I am seeing no headlines, guys, as far as I can tell, for pins at this point.
Woodshedded there.
Yeah.
We'll find out why that is. But for right now, Palantir back to the upside. So no news. Pins. There it is. Okay, so shoot. We're just taking that back out to the upside right now. Don't want to get demonetized over here, guys. 76.60 now. Maybe a good break on pins. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the same bounce here. Look, I actually own Pinterest, but this was one I actually liked the most at the bottom in March, and mostly to do with my wife. And then shout out to Kevin, if you remember him back in the day. You like that 76 break, Sean? I was kind of looking at 77 to have more confirmation. I just can't. There's no news here. I just had to check myself, and I couldn't find absolutely anything. So I know earnings isn't for a little bit. If it can hold 75, maybe this is the bottom, but I'm going to wait for like a 77 a little bit. I got a few more shares. I got a 33 price of SOS, but it's not moving. I'm really expecting that one. I thought there'd be a little more price activity in SOS today. A little bit disappointed. I missed, as I was hunting for news to see what's going on with pins, I kind of missed adding to the position in NIO here. We talked about defending it. I might only be able to pick some. Well, you know what? I'm not going to chase it. I wanted more shares in the 65 to 75 range. All I have is my 49 entry, so getting at a worse price than that when I wanted that to be the starter price makes absolutely zero sense to me.
Yeah, so I mean, here I am long pins. I'm going to give it back down to $74. So we did take that 76 break. It does go in the money for us like 25, 28, 30 pennies, something like that, back up to that 77 level. But we're long now. I don't want to go long down here. I'm not going to average in. I'm just going to wait to see if it takes out the bottom. I either want it now or I don't want it at all. So that's Pinterest right now. We're in that name, and I'm fine with that. Okay, NEO, we talked about it. Maybe it's bouncing back down, now down. I use that 40 as my spot. Maybe we should have used sort of these pre-market levels up here, 35.80 as our spot to get out. But if you are still in this name here, NIO, I like it to the downside if the NASDAQ turns, but we're at this turning point right now for the NASDAQ. So we'll see if it goes. There goes Pinterest now, back up to 77. Your boy is in this one, and your boy is also hot fire. We'll go DAPS up because Brendan always brings the news. So let's go, Brendan. What you got?
I just saw this one, TIRX. If you remember going back to, I believe it was last week, TIRX, might have been Monday, got absolutely destroyed, was 95 down to about 15 bucks. So this just popped back up to the upside on a halt, guys, for TIRX.
I remember that name. Just saw that break on Pinterest, and of course, didn't have my stop order set correctly. So I'll try to pick some up off the 77. As I was trying to do two things at once because I was looking at adding more in Neo on a pop, and then missed my entry point. There we go. We actually just got the 77s on the way back down here. So Neo was actually popping a little bit, so I wanted to get some more shares in the 60s. If it has to be like the high 50s, I might just go ahead and do that as well. So you might see a little bit extra shares at another entry point and different price in Neo. That's just me averaging in. Pinterest, like I said, I waited for that 77, this sort of consolidation level. I mean, I'm going to like it for a couple of things. I'll scalp it into the 78 range, but unless a story comes out here, I kind of feel like maybe you could get back to like an 80 on just like a snap up kind of situation. Wish I had the bottom like you, Sean. I think that's a good look at 76, and certainly you can give that way more room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I took it there. So we're going to wait to see. I'm trying to, it's 50 cents in the money as we speak, but I'm sort of waiting for the 77.50 level. Maybe I'm getting a little too greedy there to get out, but we're going to wait for that 77.50 now. Where's my offer? It's right here, so let's go. Just one more push, and we'll take that smooth dollar or so now. It'll be a little bit less, it'll be 80 cents right now. If we can get that through 77.40, we'll be out. I might as well just take this out right now, but it's coming up to my price, so why get too greedy? Maybe I should. Okay, come on. I'm literally in the mid 40s here. So if you see that rip through 40, you'll know that I'll be getting out soon, hopefully. Where's my price? Yes, it is at 45, but look at that. It stops. I'm going to have to change that one. But Pinterest right now, a nice little look there. Bitcoin with the rally of the day, I think. It just took right off there. Nicely up, man. That's up 1,000. Sorry, 1,000. It's from 60,000. Yeah, actually, it is almost 1,000. 800 bucks from that bottom right now. So Bitcoin with the run.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the SOS book, and you know what? I don't even like this stock anymore. I'm going to show you the book in a second on SOS. It is 100% just algos like quote stuffing right now, so it's not even worth a trade. SOS, TSP here. Just going to rinse and repeat the same thing. So we'll go with the Wiz. Why not? I want to be in the short side. We talked about how poor the price action was on day one for this, and how it could. Unlikely to test that 40 area, but I have to take some profit in front of this 30. There's all kinds of chop, 36.50 and 37. I still think it has a chance to break down, but I'll be taking a 36 break. When I see this, and then I see that little consolidation here on the way back up, yeah, I'm going 36 break, so I'll get flat if I can, taking $1.50 on it, and then take a shot to hold that one a little bit deeper in case there's more, I guess, exuberant selling to the downside there. Virgin Galactic, on the other hand, kind of testing back up. It didn't look. It just couldn't get quite close to that like 23.80 where we got in the first time. So I guess if it does pop again, maybe get a little bit more aggressive in another re-entry point. But I'm only to the south side. Pins is the only thing I picked up long here, mostly because I looked over at Intel, and yeah, that is the miss. Big bounce on Intel off of like 64.85 and then in through that 65 area. Maybe it gives you a VWAP bounce here. Back to positive. We just screamed through 14,000 with almost like do not stop, do not pass go, all of that good stuff. So once again, the market is resilient. I'm going to go ahead and say it's because of the green shirt, Miss V.
Okay, Pinterest right now, guys. We cashed that money. We cashed it in there, no problem. We went and got 18s there. What did we get there? Yeah, it was 18s or 19s right there off that. So we're out of 2/3 of our position, only holding now that 1/3 of our Pinterest trade. So it'll be negative if it comes back down to the day low here where we'll get out. But I mean, I'm really happy. That was amazing. Like we were literally 2 cents away from getting our mid 40 print, and then I had to take 19s. But that's okay. We're right here again. So Pinterest to the upside. We're going to hold on to that one. Really happy that we picked that one up for sure. And then I don't know if you noticed this as well, but we just got out again some here on the upside of Palantir as it's bouncing. We'll put another order downside here, see if we can just keep on rinsing and repeating on that. I know we looked at Neo today. It's still high side now. I'm kind of changing my opinion on the short. We smashed this level. That was a huge trade for me. The only thing is, as we were doing that, smashing that to the downside. We had AMD to the long side, which was an epic fail. It broke down through here. As soon as it broke 82.50 there, we go long, get some outs. That's where we get nervous. This 82.40 crashes through the quarters, and now it just basically made a bottom there. But I think we got to wait till it gets at least back to 82.20 if we're going to do anything here on AMD. So that's a look that I have on. eBond up that 10%. I know Neil's looking at that, so that's a play as well. Pinterest still down, Twitter down. I mean, everything. It's not, considering the NASDAQ is flat, it's kind of an ugly day here for NASDAQ. Let's check out Apple as the most loved name, I think, anyways, as it should be. Still down that 0.9. I guess right now crypto names are most loved. Dogecoin, check back on that one. No, this is not Dogecoin. This is my coin, ADA. And there's Kraken. XRP still up here. Yeah, here's Dogecoin. Wow, it's still trying to go, guys. What the hell's going on here? That went up to 47 cents. Dogecoin there. So yeah, we're back down to 38 right now, but it touched a high of 47. Jeez. Wow. Congratulations, anybody on the Doji.
Yeah, that's my out right there on NIO. I'm not going to fight it. I mean, basically every short has been fantastic for me, with the exception of NIO trying to pick that little top. So strong and resilient market is the name of the game here. And that's the thing. If you're going to be short, you have to find the ones that are actually weak. So there's a reason for QuantumScape. It's not a coincidence. QuantumScape Space and TSP are the ones that we're going to have on board here. And NEO, fighting it was not worth it. The bottom pick was the play. I know I said it. I know we talked about the levels, but you got to put the trades on at the end of the day. And I certainly did miss out on that one. I do want to come back to one name from earlier in the week. Apologies that we did not talk about Roblox. Again, another name on my list. Load. Another name that was on my list today that we didn't quite get to, but Roblox also getting, not woodshedded, but I mean down 4% on the session. I'm looking to pick up a bit of a bottom on Roblox. There was, on the 15-minute chart, guys, there is a level down here, that 74.5, that 75, basically what we're bouncing off of right now. So a good level on Roblox. It got sold off. I didn't even notice. Brennan?
Another one from earlier in the week, guys. VMW with Dell, that news of Dell spinning off VMW, just broke this high from yesterday on some volume coming back into retest right now. 1.8%, not a huge mover, but very positive for VMW.
Yeah. I'm still sitting here looking. I'm trying to find out what's going to happen here. We just took out some more Palantir. I put some bids in the low side, so that's fine. Pinterest there. Good thing we took some out. We're still long at 76.65 right now, so that's my Pinterest trade. It's right back to where I got in the first place. As I said, I am not averaging into this one. We've already taken our profits out there, and now we'll wait to see what does happen to the bottom. So again, this could be a losing trade if it does take out that bottom, but hey, I'm hoping that it does not. AMD still not doing anything. Neil took out his NEO as it's still continuing to rip, so yeah, that looks like a good spot there. QS still making moves. Let's check out Carnival. Carnival actually down today a lot, and I'm surprised because shoot, I wrote down 27 break. It wasn't super sexy because it would have broke the first time here 27, and then you would have had to get out at 27.10 there on the high side. So that would have been, I still would have held it, but it wouldn't have been great. So now we'll have to look for a little bit longer time frame here. Here's a 20 period on CCL. This is that little bottom there, 26.75. So if we break that 26.75, I think we could probably go on CCL. Lower than that, yeah, okay, well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of congestion as I pull this back here, back to April 1st. So yeah, some April Fool's Day jokes down here on CCL. That would have been a great time to buy. But yeah, you got a lot of congestion here. Not too sure. This may be a good long actually on CCL the more I look at it. I
promised I would show you guys this, and I'm going to get back to that TSP in a second, but I want you guys to see a level 2, and I want you to see a time and sales of SOS right now. And then just look at what's happening with the quote, all the change, all the movement, and lack of any price action in actual prints. It's actually printing more now than when I was watching it. This is what we call quote stuffing. So you're seeing a lot of like algos just sort of jump in and then throw bids and offers around, making it seem like it's actually doing something when you're not actually seeing real prints. Occasionally you'll see some dark pool prints coming off here, but there's just no liquidity. That's why I said to myself, why am I sitting in this thing? I got out, took a couple of cents of a hit here, and just said walk away from it. It's not worth the day trade. I thought we'd have the rollover. It was trying to break that bottom, but all of that movement, me going in the money, those were no prints. No one was actually selling the bloody thing. It was actually just quote stuffing, taking it down. So that's why you're going to see me walk away and not trade that stock for the rest of the session. Maybe it breaks out. That's fine. But we will do this to the gates of hell, TSP. well, at least the price. Hopefully not the company, because I wish no ill will to any company, of course. But it does touch that bottom at 36. I'm taking a 36 break short. That's why I said I would get out in front of it. So it's going to be that $1.50-ish type range where we get the last of it out. We did reload at VWAP and then took the same scalp trade off in front of 37. 36 is an obvious breakdown level. And just to reiterate, it's not just the bottom in the morning. There was some short consolidation just after 1 o'clock before it came all the way back to 38 and eventually 40, which is crazy. Why couldn't it do this flush when we were trading at power hour and I'm shorting in front of 40 and all I could get was like that push to 39 and like 38.50? Where was the flush to 36 then?
Okay, guys, sorry, I just double typed that in there. Brendan, Beyond Meat here with a rip side. I don't know. I don't see anything with anything that I have here. It could just be the NASDAQ taking off. We did recommend, and again, I've told you guys about buying Beyond Meat in this area here. I'm long it, so I've stamped a recommendation here for Beyond Meat. I like the name. I think it's in the right space. So if you are looking at something here, you do have Beyond Meat possibilities here to the upside. I like it. I think this needs to be bought. If you haven't bought it yet, you can. And then my Pinterest right now, guys, flying in now up to 77 again, Pinterest. So as you guys can see here, there goes the chart finally changing there. A nice move. It goes all the way to the downside. We talked about averaging in, and we didn't like the average in. That's the wrong move. But here we come right back to the upside. We're long 76.50. Give it to us, Brenda.
The more I read this, the more I am not excited about it. This is actually just an opinion piece. I just saw the headline. Impossible Foods may outdo Beyond Meat's recipes. So they're just talking about some of the products comparing, I should say, Impossible Foods with Beyond Meat, guys. Nothing really to see, guys.
Okay.
Nothing to see there, but we can go with money, and it's Virgin Galactic. Now, the other thing that I don't do here, which I'm not supposed to do on Virgin Galactic, is look a gift horse in the mouth. So you're going to see this little wick down to 23.13. Here is the bottom, 23.05. Once it bounces, and I'm always looking for that bounce, to kind of hang on to your shorts. I mean, obviously, maybe I should have had this rollover. I told you guys I was waiting for it to test 24, so I didn't get any more shares. It is what it is. But, you know, it hits off that 23. I'm going to get out on that bounce to the upside. The same way you're looking to buy a dip, allow it to press off of that level, I'm going to get out the same way down here. So it's going to end up being a 60-cent winner. We're out of Virgin Galactic. I don't think we're going to be done with that name by any stretch of the imagination. There's certainly going to be other trades to be had over there on Virgin. And to me, it's still to the short side. I just sort of look at Branson selling and Chamath selling, and we went over the daily chart. I mean, if you've seen it, it looks pretty weak. I just kind of feel like, you know, if it breaks that 22, it's headed to the teens, and I wouldn't buy any more until it gets down there. And if you're buying it or holding it, you're looking for a long-term hold because they don't have any revenue, guys. Intel bouncing very well shy of VWAP, so I guess the dip buy on this might not be in play. I don't want to do a top break on the stock. I'm kind of holding out hope that it gives me a better price here, but the market is screaming back up. Man, there was no test or rollover at 14,000 on the NASDAQ, which might have been able to get me into Intel.
So I got into Top Shots yesterday. I got a pack, and I actually scalped out. Yeah, I got a pack, and it cost me $14 for the pack, and I sold one of the cards for $47 yesterday. So scalping, you can't even stop me from scalping and taking profits even on those cards. Christian Wood, Cool Cats card. Sold on Top Shots by yours truly.
He's nice.
Bought it. Yeah, I bought it. And I still got 4 more cards in there as well. Okay, we'll talk about Top Shots and NFTs when we get back, because if I make Brendan wait, it's a huge, huge problem. So we've had a discussion on this in the boardroom. Over to Brendan. We're just playing around. We're all friends here. What's up, Brendan from Brampton?
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. Small cap time. Let's go. EFOI, 7-ish% still. This thing's come way off the highs. 450 was a bit of resistance or a bit of support at the top end of the range in the pre-market. 465, 470 at the top there give you all kinds of opportunities to get in front of 450. We're down to 390, 385 now. It's starting to die off as far as volume, so I'm done with that one. MTSL, I mentioned 590 and then 6. Never came anywhere close to that, but I could have taken this breakdown. It was a huge move. 450 now, the support area on MTSL. I'll show you this E-hang. Because this thing is, eBet. I was also trading E-hang, didn't really do much. eBet was so illiquid, you had to sit in the book higher. Do not cross the spread on this if you're trying to get in. And it's just really, really hard to get any kind of an actual fill But this thing has moved from 32, or I mean 52 at the top, 32 at the bottom. Take your pick on a trade, guys, but very, very illiquid for that one, guys.
I see you here, Jazz, saying yes. I am from Brampton, so B-Town represent here. The Flower City. So Brampton, look, I mean, those of you that are from Brampton know that you should probably leave there as soon as possible. But Neil, all three of us are actually from Brampton, but Neil's still the only resident
You're
of
goddamn
Brampton.
right I am. And you can crap talk it all I want, but it's home. Family is there, so I will stick it up. Beautiful city. I love to get up to the north where my friend Brendan is from, and great hiking places around there. But I can get into that all we want. I don't know why, and this is kind of like stupid in my opinion, because it's stupid, that I looked over at Neo and I'm like, yeah, let's roll over on NIO. Or we could just sell strength into Nikola, which I suppose is usually a better idea. And if you look at a daily chart, which I'm not even going to bother showing you a daily chart of Nikola, because if you don't know what that looks like, I don't know what to tell you. But look at this top. It just made a press in the pre-market levels. Look, this pre-market rollover, 1085 to 1090. It pressed it once, got to 86. Presses it a second time, gets to 83. I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm shorting it here at 81s. So into Nikola, it is what it is. You try to play relative strength, relative weakness in that particular game, or try that rubber band action in Pinterest, which is half working. I mean, I took some out, and it still can't break 78. I didn't have the 76 long, so I don't know if I had the luxury to hold it as long while it wasn't working as Sean did, with a much, much better price as he got the story first. But I did have to grab a little bit here. And then Nikola, if it comes back to VWAP, I'll be pretty happy with that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I also kind of want to be sitting in this, and I'll probably hold on to at least 10, 15, 20% of it, something along those lines. Even if it breaks VWAP, as long as it's below 11, I kind of want to be short Nikola all day today after looking at what it couldn't do back to the upside. You get a flush out like this, and then the market screams back. If you can't even break towards those highs or test them, I kind of want to be on the short side there. Neo clearly showed that it wanted to test those levels.
Man, yeah, 27 on CCL, just watching those charts there. Okay, guys, I mean, the money is just coming in right now as we just keep cashing out every single time we can here on Palantir. I'm actually waiting at 93. That seems silly. Why am I waiting at 93 here? That was from before. Let's get out some at 90 there. There it is. We'll punch that out. There it is. There's the fill on Palantir as Valeria clapping, so that's always a good sign. And then Pinterest. Oops, we did it again on pins, guys. So there it is. We got those diamond hands right now on Pinterest, as that is now $1.30 in the money. PINS continues to rip up for me, so we're going to hold on to that one and see where we can go with Pinterest to the moon right now. I brought this to your attention down here, and we talked to Brendan. We said, hey, what's up? Where's the news? There's nothing. So we acknowledge that. We take this 76.50 break, and now we've got that. And we's gold right now on Pinterest. Well in the money, $1.33, guys, as we hit 3 times daily goal. Palantir now 18 cents in the money. So, hey, it's been a good day right now, and it's only 10:30. The fun has just begun with Bitcoin, because there it is, guys. I brought this to your attention on this tank, down to 6,300. Now you're up to 61,300. So there is that $1,000 move back to the upside. And you guys said, well, that Sean was very confused when I brought up Dogecoin, because I was. Like, I cannot believe it got up to 47. Like, I thought I was looking at a different chart there, but we did talk about that. Oh, God, this is the thing again. I got to go all the way over. We'll figure this out. But anyways, that 47, come on. There it is right here. Wow. I can't believe that hit that, man, at 940. Like, we talked about it in the pre-market. I was like, wow, that was at 37 cents. That was pretty impressive. But it ticks up to 47 cents, guys. Dogecoin on the pullback looks like maybe 30 support. I can't believe I'm saying that for DOGE. Congratulations, guys, for all of you with some of these, because that's amazing. I'm trying to hold out for my play on ADA. Long 20 cents, now $1.50, so $1.40 waiting on that one. Palantir comes out there, 93s, guys.
Yeah, and back to QuantumScape. I got greedy, very, very greedy on the initial short position. I certainly could have taken this one out for just over $1 trade, but I wanted to hold on to it. It stops me out. So you're going to get the move down here. You're going to get the 50-cent win. Then you're going to take essentially just shy of a 50-cent loss. But when it double tops at 37.75, I wait for it to fail instead of jumping in front of a moving freight train, I suppose, is the best way to look at it. Well, I mean, it's a freight train to the downside yesterday. To the upside, it's actually showing a little bit of strength. I grabbed it here at 37.39. I'd averaged in one time. probably at a better price closer to that 50 area. So into a new position. Nikola, on the other hand, we just got like a minute or so ago. Starting a rollover, I will take, I'd probably take a little bit more off here, just throw a bid down in like the in the mid to high 60s, just to get some on the way into VWAP. And I do want to hold through a break of this 1058. That's going to be the plan. But I want to make sure I'm taking like half of it off, just so I can maybe rinse and repeat over and over again off of that same price level. The other name that we've talked a little bit about it, I haven't been able to get into it. But that's going to be Intel over here, finally showing some kind of a dip. So it just tested down at like 65. If I can start building something in front of that 65 level, I want to make sure I get a decent price here. Intel's not always the most active stock in the world, but if you can get at least 25, 30 cent type winners on it, sometimes even 10, 15 is pretty good. I'll look for the former, not the latter. I want to make sure I get a good price though. Brendo?
I just saw Cisco here, guys, having a bit of a day. Just came back through 53, was holding above. I noticed in the pre-market there was an upgrade on Cisco, but nothing else as far as significant moves, or news, I should say. 2.3% for Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco pretty solid. I mean, that's kind of like a growth / tech stock all wrapped up into one there. So that's a good one. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. I mean, I think we're getting very, really high here on Pinterest. I may just take this out. It's rallied all the way back, so that's pretty good for me. I'm debating just offering right now and getting out on Pinterest. So I think we'll do that. There it is. We get out there at 78.34 for that dollar. I'll have to see on the per PL here because $1.70 winner right now there. So that's a good one. We'll go a little diamond hands. I'm pretty impressed with that. Normally I'll get out there at VWAP, but we do hold that one and now get out. Again, we're out of it. Apparently Robinhood now experiencing issues with crypto trading. So a little highlight there. I don't know. We can look at Coinbase. I don't know where we would look for that to affect, but we'll check it out right now. Why not?
Go back over to
Coinbase right now. We'll check it. Yeah, Coinbase isn't doing anything. I started my position on Coinbase, and I'm really happy to say 327 is my long on Coinbase, guys.
The reality is, this is a good sign for Coinbase. Churning through 5 million. Churning through 5 million shares worth of volume while holding the low. I mean, I like that as well. And that's one of the things we talked about. Where if it holds that low from yesterday, that's why it's a good place to start getting into that long position. Which I'm with you. I did the same thing. We're talking about it there. The only mistake was not taking the first long off 320, only taking the second. I'm still looking for a 330 break. So I still like the breakout play. You're going to see a hard top like a few times here in the 1 minute chart. It just teetered. And they went right to 330, right on the offer. And this was a refreshing order over and over again. So there was someone selling shares at 330 that was pretty legitimate. That much is certainly going to be true. QuantumScape is still flat for me in terms of giving me that short position. Hadn't taken anything off. It's now testing a little bit higher, so I can actually think about getting into a few more shares here as it gets a little closer to that 350 range. However, I finally got into Intel, 65.09 in front of 65. It's taken all morning, but I'm finally long in Intel after missing it twice.
Okay, maybe I should look back here at AMD as that's been, we're still waiting for this 82.20. Let's see if we can't call it up on a 3 minute chart here and see what's happening. Okay, I was looking at it on another platform. We'll call it up here. It's not super sexy. I mean, that Intel maybe, I don't know. We'll check it on NVIDIA. We're just trying to find the best one because I think that these are going to rip at some point today. AMD making a nice bottom. Yeah, let's take some trades here at this bottom of AMD. Checking on NVIDIA just to see if it is that much better, then we'll take NVIDIA. But, damn it, we have that wick. Okay, there it is. So same kind of thing here, down today. If it can break through this 640, I think there might be a trade there on NVDA. So let's wait for that 640 to come in. We'll take that if it breaks through. So 640 on NVIDIA, I like that trade. We're going to take it. I mean, these wicks are 640.50. We could try a 640. I mean, that's right where VWAP is. So it's starting to come back down again. It might be better to sit down here and see if we can't pick up one of these. I'm going to put a bid, 636.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think with this kind of move, some of those stocks, if they're not moving like crazy, you can be a little bit more passive with your entry points, or patient, I think is the other word that you want to think about here. I just want to come back to Neil. I know I got out of my short. Certainly, it's one of those things where it's not an automatic that if it's a stop area that you should reverse into a long, but I kind of feel like when it pulled back in and maybe gave that 35.60, that should have been the play. It's the right. Sometimes the better decision is sort of saving yourself money and not digging into a short position. But I'm kind of beside myself for not at least averaging into, well, not averaging, but reversing into a long or buying a little bit of that dip. I'd like to see how we test that 36.30, that pre-market high level before I get into a long. I want to see it maybe bounce off that, show its hand at how many people are selling up there before I think about a neo long. Was it Brendan?
All right, guys, it's 10:30, but before we get to European check here, make sure you come back this afternoon once again. If you've been hiding under a rock and haven't heard, yes, we come back every single day at 3:15 to take you through the last 45 minutes of trading in the day, right through to the close at 4 o'clock. So come back and join us again at 3:15 right here. Let's get a check on Europe, see what's happening across the pond. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly positive, boosted by car makers. Daimler trading in Germany is up almost 3% after it posted better than expected quarterly profits. Back to you.
Yeah, one more hour in the week for European markets, guys.
The power hour for them, I guess. Yeah, 11:30 closing over there. Thank you, Miss V. Just to check back here, Palantir coming back in. So got to make sure that we do have some bids here. PLTR coming back in. Where are we long now? 73. I mean, that's a little bit, presumptuous. So maybe I don't know if we get down there again. We'll take a little bit here. 77, 78. Bring it back down to 73. We're just playing off this 2650 level. NASDAQ now, though, pushing down. So you know what? I don't know. It keeps on burning us if you get too long, and we do throw some profits back. So I'm looking at this level, and I like it. So we'll take a little bit more here, but I don't know. Like, we've already cashed out on Palantir. We do know it's a negative stock. We should probably be going short more than we're going long, but either way, we're going to wait on Palantir a little bit. I'm going to get some bids here, 74, 75, even right now. I mean, why not? Let's just put a bid out for Palantir right now at 77. We'll get that bid, and then we'll see, man. More lower bids coming, though. Hopefully, we'll get filled on those, and then we'll start going back to VWAP. But we just keep on resisting this, like resist, resist, resist. So all the time here, bouncing off VWAP, volume-weighted average price. That's a pretty key indicator there that I suggest any of you use if you're not there already. But we're long at 22.73, so it's still 10 cents in the money. But I did want to talk about that one, Disney making moves to the high side, and then the one that's really been the most disappointing for me, and we talked about this, I think even Neil, we both did pre-show here, when Donkey Kong, DraftKings, I had that 60-50 break. That was on the infamous sticky note 60-50 there break, but it didn't happen, so now you're just to the downside. It's like any good news just seems to get faded out here on DraftKings, guys.
It's one of those stocks. You have to you sort of adjust your style to it instead of try to force the action. It's weird because like the swings are always good swings. We'll go with QuantumScape here, and we'll do the fist bump. Got the bit of a rollover, and I should maybe well, maybe this is premature because I only got a third of it out here in front of 37. I'll take some more in front of VWAP and then see if we can't hold a little bit better. It's a double top, so it's worth holding for a bit of a deeper move. I saw someone in the chat saying something along the lines of, and this is not to pick on anything, don't stop talking about GameStop. They'll short it and stop the move. I'm not touching that. Look, this is GameStop here. The amount of volume that this thing happens to do while holding up at these levels, that's not a parabolic move. If GameStop wants to make a move to 180 or 200, that's a move I'd maybe have a look at, guys. But when GameStop goes like just a few percentage points, like $4 or $5, that is not a rally I want to short into. I've learned my lesson when it comes to that, and I'll take breakouts when it's breaking from that kind of a move. So not me, not going to touch it at that particular price. I did want to come back to SOS because I did get away from it, and maybe that was a bit of. I showed you guys level 2 as to why I didn't like to trade it, but Bitcoin did make the bounce and broke that 61, so it headed back to the upside, which I kind of said I was going to take a 440 if it ever broke that under those conditions. I just looked at the quote stuffing and said that is not something that I want to be day trading. When I look at what's sort of still going on here, where it's just a lack of printing. It's 12 million in volume. And it's like almost exclusively happening on dark pools and a ton of quote stuffing and algos just messing around with the stock. So I just can't get into the trade here when I see those conditions. And Nikola, for the first time ever, wants to do absolutely nothing. I mean, like really? Like this stock, which is always active. I don't know why that didn't flip there. Always active, little bit of a flush, went down like 8 cents in the money. Maybe that shouldn't have been enough. It's not enough on Nikola. Right back to the top and now just range bound. Right at my price, basically flat. Need to get this one going. The market's coming back in, and Nikola is doing literally nothing. I don't understand that one. I feel like it should be flushing at this point. And Coinbase, again, testing 330. Can it finally break through?
Good, yeah, let's break through.
Come
I did
on.
get my fill long there, Coinbase 326. So we're in the game on Coinbase now and super happy about that one. We'll just wait to see. I like Coinbase. My break on Coin though, guys, I'm not trading anything. I didn't even look at this 330 today. My break here, this is a 3-minute chart, is right here, this 338. So once we get through there, that's when I'll be making my first trade on Coinbase. I told you that we wouldn't get down here today, but we did at least get the 315 or so, 318, I guess, there. So that was in the pre-market. Yeah, we didn't even get anywhere close. We got to 321. So good pickup if anyone's down there on Coinbase. But yeah, just doing nothing. I think this is the next big thing. I mean, that's not rocket science. I think everybody thinks that. So now Coinbase to the upside. We'll see where it goes. I brought to you Beyond Meat. I think this is a good opportunity now. Brendan read that story, and this is why I went to Brendan first before doing anything about this stock. He said, and I'll quote him, I think, roughly, this story doesn't seem that good, he said. And I think it was something like that, right, Brendan? Yeah, something like that. So he was like, that doesn't seem that good. It goes to 140. It was about Impossible Burger, either, looking at their formulation, figuring it out. I think there was something about Impossible Burger. So more competition in the space. But to me, that don't matter one bit because I mean, Impossible Burger is a thing. I like Beyond Meat. I like it for what it means. I've had the burger. I haven't had like the fake pork or anything like that, but the burger's okay. Obviously, I prefer the real deal, but the wife is all about the Beyond Meat burger, so she continues to buy those. Estrogen filled, I think. 136 to the bottom here. Again, if it's not good news, then we'll probably continue to go lower here, but it's just pretty ugly chart. I don't want to commit to anything right here on Beyond Meat. So there's really nothing there. Our NVIDIA still waiting to break to the upside as well. That doesn't look like that's going to happen. We talked about it breaking through the 640, that we liked it, but I do have a bid downside. I thought I did. Yeah, I did. 326.20 we're bidding. So that went down as low as 36. We're almost into it. And there goes Palantir again. So we'll go diamond hands for Palantir because it's funny. We're just playing the range here, and it's right back up. Probably a good spot to get out. What up, Beep?
Sorry, just reading about our next shipment apparently from Moderna to Canada is going to be half of what it was supposed to be. So there's that. Also, we had Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC Markets, on yesterday, was it? We were talking to him about that market and didn't get to this one, but there is news on Hertz today, guys. So Hertz Global up on some news regarding financing, but heads up on that one.
Of course, waited all morning for that 330 break, and it just goes immediately like 332 on Coinbase.
Yeah.
So look, I'm happy that it's going up, but I'm not happy that I missed that day trade. That was the bottom pick was the only thing you could have had here. Maybe it gives you a little bit of a pullback and some consolidation. And if we sort of come out a little bit, I think there is a chance that we can maybe get because it's been range bound. There's a chance we get a pullback off that 335 to 338, and then you can get a bit of a dip buy. But the trend is now to the upside on Coinbase after some people bought a lot of shares yesterday and they were still at it when it got down even close to that 320 level. So clearly a good support one there. The breakout, no good. Looks like you want to be buying in front of support is the better way to go. Ms. V?
Hey Neil, a positive day for Workhorse. Stock is up more than 11%. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd sooner pick on Nikola, as you can see here, than Workhorse. I'm not really selling into this one as it shows some strength. I actually noticed this and was saying that I pulled it up and was like, yeah, does 1250 look good? Nah, not when I can short in Nikola. You are going to have to watch out for this like 13, and I'll call it like 1290 to 1325 area, which is coming pretty close. I would expect there to be a bit of a dip. I'd rather express the trade that if this starts pulling back, I'm already sitting in the short in Nikola. I wouldn't want to fight it too hard. But if you have the long, you got to watch out for this. I mean, the daily chart does tell you a bit of an ugly story. All that said, if this thing were ever to maybe claw its way back to like a 14, maybe 15 area, that's when you start to actually see some strength in it, and maybe you want to think about a long. We're gonna go to Brendan for sector watch because it's weird. Like we're basically flat on the day. We're showing a lot of movers, but it's a kind of a mixed board up there, and I'm surprised to see all that not green, blue.
Hey guys, yeah, let's figure out what is leading so far today. We are positive, as Neil was saying, but only just 0.2% for the overall market. A couple of individual names, very, very strong. PPG, SHW earnings beat expectations, so they're up on that. MAS was another one that reported, mentioned Cisco and NTAP here, both with upgrades today in positive territory. Otherwise, we're looking at, like we said, pretty mixed board here. Nothing significant. STT and BK and the financial group also earnings names. The rest, though, very strong. The financial group actually leading or among the leaders as far as gainers are concerned. Consumer discretionary stocks, industrial stocks also higher. Far corner really offsetting everything at this point today. The energy group on a downtick in oil, as we saw in the pre-market, continuing its move to the downside. So basically the entire group lower. Some of the communication stocks back to the downside today. I just saw Disney there up 1.1%. That one standing out along with Comcast and I think that's that Chatter. Wireless CHTR, 1.4. Discovery here to the downside again today. Twitter also 1.3% to the downside today. Bottom corner, we mentioned a couple of little tiny real estate stocks in the pre-market were upgraded. So that group also positive, but yeah, pretty muted. 0.2 for the S&P. Let's go to Sean.
Yes, sir. Come back, and when you do come back here, you're going to see a little bit of balling action here because there we go. These turn. They turn purple because I did have offers upside here at VWAP, but they get taken out there. So Palantir, man, it just goes on the board. We're super successful today. Like I don't know what else to tell you guys, but here goes Nvidia again, $1.70 in the money. Cash me outside. You're right, Valeria. I'll cash that outside any day. Here we go up to the upside right now. Good move, man. We talked about getting that 636. Like, what else are we supposed to do? There it is. A nice little play there and a nice bounce back up here in the NASDAQ. So, hey, another $2 winner, man. We gave that to you on pins. Now we have another one right now on Nvidia. Does it hold? I don't know. We may be able to get out a little bit here. But hey, if the market rallies, let's just celebrate this. It's been a monster day. Now we're 4 times our daily goal right now. So happy with the way that's going on. Back up to 389. Let's go. Here we go. Let's see if this one wants to keep on going to the high side. $2 now plus in the money. 368, 638. A good trade. We are long at 636.25. So, hey, maybe we just take out $2. That makes a lot of sense right now. We'll put an order at 638.50, get that out and see if we can hold the rest. Nvidia for the win, baby.
Yeah, and getting a bit, I mean, it's a muted bounce here because the market's coming actually downside. So I kind of like the fact that Nvidia is going to be going. Intel can't seem to get it out of its own way. It is consolidating higher, so we're going to be in the money here. It's just a matter of which one of these is going to actually run. As I sort of sat back down here, I went back over to quantum. There we go, quantum.
There it is.
And it continues to hold. This is why we got out the first time at 37. There's a bit of an iceberg buyer here at that 37 level. If it dips down there again, it's going to make some sense to put another bid in front and see if we can't get out in front of that buyer. If we're going to consolidate and hold that 37, there is another chance that QuantumScape wants to make a break through the high. So that's 37.70. 37.75 exactly. But as long as this iceberg does not break, it's going to be go for a bit of a long trade off 37.75 on QS.
Yeah, okay, guys, good move there. And there it is right there. Bang! We'll hit the confetti, we'll hit the floss. We go in there, 636 even, well, 636.25, and then out right there, 638.25. So that's a smooth 2 right there. So that's $2. Now we'll rip the other side of this. So let's hopefully we can keep on going to the upside right now, guys. Starbucks, Miss V, Starbucks fan. And I mean, yeah, Starbucks, great. There she is, yeah.
Starbucks.
Oh my God, oh my God. I saw the red in her eyes there. She's like gonna like hunt me down now. Starbucks, you don't talk about Starbucks without mentioning Valeria. A nice move to the high side, 52-week highs in a lot of stocks. But look at this one, Starbucks. I've been a buyer of this one ever since they were around, basically not since the beginning of time, but my average price about $50, which it was there not too long ago actually, but I've been a holder for a long time. We didn't get out the first time, and I'm not going to get out now. Starbucks still mooning right now. We can check, mooning on the daily chart, not mooning on our chart. And then here's BAC. You know what, guys? I'm going to flush myself down the toilet because I've been, $3 now in the money on Nvidia. Like, this is crazy. I cannot believe this. This was bad. We wanted to hold this 39. Unfortunately, it breaks that 39. The lowest it only goes is 38.90. Like, that should have been, that's so stupid. This out was ridiculous. Should have hold that at least 10 cents. Like, look at this, back to day's high here on BAC. But I'm taking, wow, there. Nvidia, hello, rate to VWAP, bang, bang. We'll wait on this one. I think this goes higher, especially if the NASDAQ has room to go. $3 winner on Nvidia, man. Sometimes you got to roll the dice, Neil, and take shots on big stocks. Here's one on Nvidia. I don't know where Coinbase is, but that's another one.
I'm on the bid in front of 3. Like I said, if you can't catch the break breakout. Every now and then, it gives you a bit of a pullback to buy in front of that level. So I'll buy in front of 330. Like I said, practice what you preach. If you only want to give me a 50-cent winner on a $37 stock a couple times, we'll go ahead and do that. And look, this is where my out was on the way up. So I'm not sort of picking them out of thin air. You did see 37 hold as support in the pre-market on the way down. It then turned into now a bit of a support level once again. So that's why I'm going to get us some short. If it breaks, great. I'm still holding on to some. Intel just gave me my first out here. There we go. It finally sort of broke through. So first leg is going to be on the north side of VWAP. We take some out at 65.20. We're going long in front of 65. I'll take some more out in the 30s. If we can break 65.50, I want to be holding this one for a bigger move, especially if the market can hold up the way it has been. I kind of like the look that we have here in terms of breaking back and holding that 14,000 and getting towards some of those highs. I picked Intel here. I like the story. But Nikola, on the other hand, I said don't do it in Neo. Pick on Nikola. So test back up. Here's that 10.90. Well, I mean, the high of the day is going to be closer to 11 even. But that pre-market right before the open high was going to be that 10.90. Tests, breaks it very briefly. I'm like, okay, now I can actually add more shares into Nikola. It can't seem to go. Even Nikola is strong on this day, so there's only so much I'm going to be able to fight this one, or going to want to fight Nikola if it wants to squeeze on me here, guys. So if it breaks at 11, I'm going to be out of that Nikola trade altogether. That EBON here, Sean. All I can do is shake my head. This is a redonkulously tight stop when it broke that 462. And it's ridiculous. Sometimes you have to wait for it to maybe test a level a couple of times. It was probably when it retested that 460 here, when I missed it like a chump, that it was going to be go time. Now, once you've missed this kind of a move, it's hard not to only think about, okay, where's it going to turn around? I have to start thinking about this 530 turn here, guys. This is like 530 to 540 on EBON, and you're going to see it right here.
Guys, from reviewing that to reviewing this, it's chicken dinner winner time, guys. Let's get that energy up. 641 right now, just ripping. This is a $5 winner now on NVIDIA, guys. So a big move up. Yeah, I was looking. It's funny because I asked Brendan when he put it in the chat that EBON was at that day's high there. That was 490, and I was like, do I take it? Do I take it? And I didn't. That's crazy. Okay, up to the upside right now. We talked about that. We can't pick a better spot. Literally the day low there. I mean, not literally like my kid says literally, but close to within $1 of that day low. We picked that up, and now NVIDIA turns. I mean, if it could turn green, then hell yeah. We'll see what happens here for NVIDIA. But as we keep going to the upside right now, like 641 there, something like that could be a spot to get out. But I was going to get out at VWAP. Good thing we didn't, because now we're just ripping to the moon right now. Again, I don't know where to get out. EBON coming back in, that may give us a good spot now. I'm just going to call up NVIDIA on another chart, but here comes EBON right back into 5. Maybe we made that high there at 520 on a daily chart, though. I mean, it's unlimited. You still have so much room. We've topped out a couple times there, 540, 530, 530 again. So maybe we just made that high. That's probably a decent short. You probably have that short.
Look, you know me too well. I already shorted at 510. So, I mean, I looked at that chart on the 15 and said, look, if it's going to stall shy of a level, I'll usually take a shot at it the first time through off of that reversal. Because sometimes the best look you get is when everyone sees that level coming and dumps in front. So I got 510s here. Well, 509.5. Picks them up at 10s, picks them up at 9s to get a midpoint price. There was a lot of chop at 480 to 5 even. So that's an obvious point where I would take some off here. And it's a very, very strong stock. This is counter trend, right? So you have to know in the back of your mind that I can get run over on this play. The other thing is Coinbase is coming down at 330. I really want to be a buyer in front of it. If it can dip down and I can get a quick little snapshot and it's got 30s there, I want to see if it can hold 330. If it breaks 330, I want to get out, and then I want to see how far that move takes me to the downside and then get back into it. So I got out of the trade almost immediately there. So, well, I mean, the EBON I'm showing you, which is nonsense. I'm sitting there talking about Coinbase and not even showing it to you. Apologies there, guys. Here's my 15-minute on Coinbase. If it's going to break lower, I want to see if we can't hold VWAP. So in and out very quickly at the 330. I'll buy another dip if I can. It's not the 320 trade because that's the big level, but it'll be a VWAP. There's lots of chop between 25 to 30 that I think we can take advantage of, but I want to be very, very patient with these plays.
Yeah, you got to be very, very, very interested in Clover as well. Clover going crazy. Just reading some of the chats here about Dogecoin. Don't.
Oh wow,
guys,
Clover.
Guys, dangerous haircut. Pick another hero,
over.
guys. Don't let me be a hero to you, because that wouldn't be the greatest thing. But there we go. We'll hit that for you. Thank you for that. Dangerous. And then AMD is going now. Okay, yeah, no surprise there. So we have AMD, we have Nvidia there. Ooh, we picked the right one. I don't care. I mean, you know, $5 in the money now coming back in. But 430. Hold on a second. I got to get this back to you guys. We're gonna get out 639.75 break. 639.75 break is right here. I'm gonna get out back through VWAP. So just to let you guys know, that is that out. But just in case you're wondering, AMD, there's that call. We called this break right here, 82.20. We like that break, 82.20, maybe even better. But if you took the 82 break with us, or with, like I mentioned there, you would have had a pretty sweet move right there to the upside. So good move on that one. And again, Nvidia, just to recap, guys, my out is gonna be back to the downside. Someone's saying there about Dogecoin, like it's not even listed. I mean, that's the thing. It's not even listed on Coinbase yet. So whether or not that does get listed there or not, but that's if you want another catalyst for Doji to go to the upside, I think a Coinbase listing makes a hell of a lot of sense for that one as well. As there goes Palantir, man, still now breaking out. Hopefully Palantir, we see $30 in the next month or so, but hey, still got to get above that 27 key spot. Brendan at the big screen, kill it.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at what is happening in the world of currency pairs. I want to talk about Turkey. Where is it? Here it is. Higher today, 0.75%. In fact, to the upside. They are the ones that kind of kicked off this whole selling in Bitcoin. If you hadn't heard, the Turkish government banning cryptos in Turkey. So that kicked off that selling overnight and gave this a nice pop, really 0.75% for the Turkish lira back to the upside. All of these in negative territory, but still significantly off the lows that we saw earlier. We'll start with XRP here. This got all the way back down to 140. We're back to 160 for Ripple. So yeah, 12.5%, but well off the lows, 3% for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else pretty much higher. US dollar, a little bit of weakness today, but nothing significant. After yesterday's rally, the Canadian dollar 0.4%. Wow, 80 on the nose, guys, for the CAD. Back over to you.
Boo. But we'll go over to eBond. Sort of gave you that idea there, and it's like, Sean read my mind at that 510. Look, it's just going to be where the rollover happened. I kind of wait for it to come back down. And then I said there was that little chop area between 480 and 5 that we'd be taking out shares. So I got some bids in here. I've already gotten some out. I'd like to see if we can't get into VWAP, because if it does break 85, I do think it hangs out in the 75 range. I'm sort of fully expecting this to bounce here. I mean, obviously you get those rollover trades, but with a trend like this, and we're still making that rush to the upside over in spots. So I do fully expect that I'm going to get a shot at this bouncing off of VWAP. That's why I'm always going to take profit when it gives me that chance. You know, you're going to go counter trend. You're going to run into some of those things. I did want to get back into Coinbase. I can tell you I did not. So the first leg of that 330 was like, if it bounces off that, like if it was going to turn into like an iceberg offer to an iceberg buyer, I just wanted to sit in front of it and get the best possible price like we did in front of 320. That doesn't happen. Now I'm looking to buy the dip. This is what I meant about that 25 to 75 area with having all kinds of chop, that if it comes into that range, I think you get a better shot at a better trade. I cannot believe, and I'm a little bit surprised at this. Yeah, this is Morgan Stanley today. They had earnings, and look at putting that range off the open, and it's done literally nothing since. So look, you can anticipate that there's going to be action in the stock because it's in play, but it doesn't always mean that it's going to be true. It has been true of QuantumScape, but I can tell you the more that it holds that iceberg at 37, the more I'm emboldened to think about that double top long breakout at 37.75. So the longer it holds this level, the more likely I think we have a good shot at that. Well, I mean, the more I'm going to like, I should say, that 37.75. I'm taking it either way. Definitely getting out of the short at that price and taking it either way to the long side, but I like it more the longer we hold this consolidation.
Guys, congratulations. Yeah, I mean, again, that's what we like. We like when stocks are consolidating, and it's too bad because I'm out of Palantir here, and I just didn't, the discipline doesn't let me hold this. We've seen it tank a lot, and then the NASDAQ now ripping upside. So there's Palantir. Congratulations to anybody that has a little more diamond hands, I guess, than I do here, because that was a good one. 2 longs today on Palantir, 22.79, and then again here at 22.72. So good longs here for Palantir. Upside move, and still going is Palantir to the upside. So good move there. Congratulations, anybody that was able to hold on to that. I was not. We just put the profit in our pocket and moved away. I'm debating now changing this. We are going higher now. This is now a $5 winner as we break through 641. Well, we almost did break through 641 there. That would be 5. So we're waiting on that one now on NVIDIA. That's $4 and change. I still have my out's going to be a little bit lower than this. I already gave it to you, 640.39. It's right here on this level. So if we do break down, here it comes. If we do, I should have just took that out there. Too many tops right there for NVIDIA. But again, if we break it, then we have some nice movement to the upside there. So we'll wait to see if it breaks to the downside. We're going to be prudent and get out there. So just reviewing that trade for you. I see Fisker, whatever. I see someone mentioning it there on some news, but I hate you, Fisker. I'm in this name. I was lucky to get some out 26 something on a crazy move. If the daily chart, there it is. Yeah, on this crazy move right in here, we were able to get some out. But look at this. We rebought in this area, $17. I'm just waiting for Randy to get his Ocean, and then I'll buy it. So right now, $14.80. You're still going to try to get that, aren't you, Randy? Yeah, so he's still going to try to get that Fisker Ocean. So we're going to wait there. When he gets one, I'll get one as well, because I want to get into the EV space at some point myself. So we'll see. He'll take me on a test drive there. Good job for you, Randy. And Workhorse, we talked about that one. That was brought up on the chat earlier, and it's still making a move to the high side right now. Workhorse up 16%. Oh, come on, Charles. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You could do it. Okay, I don't know. That's the daily chart. But here's the minute chart as we go. You can see, man, Workhorse putting in work. That 1250, a great spot there. I believe this is like when Brendan brought it to us with Valeria. That was a great break to the upside and still making moves there. So I can't remember, Brendan, what the story was. But if you have that, drop it back because Workhorse, wow, what a monster. Up 15 today. What up, Pete?
Yeah, there wasn't actually much on Workhorse or Nikola, but both significantly higher. Same with this one. Clover has been mentioned a couple of times during the show. I was just noting there's a lot of chatter and a lot of rumors flying around on the internet about a squeeze in Clover Health. I just double checked. It's 9.8% on the short side. It's not nothing, but it's not huge. But Clover getting a lot of attention and volume, guys. Look at the volume on the daily chart. For Clover today, trying to bounce finally.
Yeah, I'm gonna tread lightly with that one, but we took our shot at EBON here, EBON, and look, it's 510. It's gonna get right down to that 485. So it's that first little leg. I've taken out what I will in front of that 85. Now, if it gets into that chop range, I like the front end of it and the back end instead of the middle. That's a weird, whatever. But Clover, I sort of felt like, in someone, apologies for not always getting it right. Who was in the chat? I know it flies really fast. I was sort of saying you ain't wrong until 950 if it's squeezing, and sort of you have to ask yourself, like, what are you willing to defend on a parabolic move like this? So I've sort of stayed away from it. I know it rolls over at 9 even. That's a good psychological level, but for me, when I looked at it, I'm like, am I giving it to 950 if I take an 880 short? Not the style of trade that I do when I'm short selling. So it is what it is. If you guys are watching it, maybe it does give a big pullback here. And I would anticipate, given the strength that it's shown and not test that higher level, that you probably get a bit of a bounce at that 835 to 840 range. So that's just my take on it. Candidly speaking, looking at that Workhorse chart, and the reason I like Nikola a little better, I mean, you saw how strong Workhorse is. Nikola rolling over one more time. So, sort of been working this one off of $11. And again, once it tests 11 and gives you that 97, that's when I decide to actually pick up a few more shares here, guys. But I probably should have done more. It peaked up again, and then I missed this entry here at like 88. So still have only like an 83 price when it should be pretty much 86 or 87. If it gets down, like I'm not even bidding until it gets into the 70s and in around VWAP. And then I kind of, like I said, I wanted to hold this one all day long if I can. I wanted to like give it like an all night long, but I can't because we have to be flat at the end of the day. So I can't go Lionel Richie on you because we can't hold overnight. Fantastic song and an incredibly talented artist. I'll tell you right now, Intel, you stink. I like you long term, but you can't seem to give me any kind of a bounce here. I'm going to take this off of break 65, and I was going to give it to lower in the day, but when I see it, when I see the Nasdaq hold back up, and then I can only get like a 10-cent winner on, well, I mean a little bit more than that, like 10. Well, yeah, it was like a 12-cent winner, 10 cents, 12 cents. Who cares? That's all you're going to give me, Intel, when the Nasdaq bounces, and when I see an Nvidia for Sean go, then I got to give a tighter stop. It's not worth the upside, so I just get out of it right here for 65s, walk away. It wasn't the right call, and the thing is, in a vacuum, maybe I still think it's good. But if I look at something better, or I could have pulled up the overall market here, but if I look at Nvidia, which made a better move here off the bottom and actually sort of broke through, gave you a bit more, and then of course we're back down below that 14,000 mark. All signs point to walk away from Intel. You're not going to get the breakout you want. The shorts are working for you. Just stick there.
Yeah, and we just tweeted that out, and yeah, your boy made that cash on Intel, on Nvidia there. I would have made on AMD or Nvidia, but we just were lucky. I mean, it just was a bigger win because of the extent. But yeah, I guess you take more shares. Like I would have took more shares on Intel or AMD anyways. But there it is. There's the break. Like it doesn't get much better than that right there. So there's a nice little shot in the arm for us today, taking us upside here. So we'll wait to see. That's a great one out there for, like I said, the first bit for $2, and then there's it is out right at that view up. We got exactly the price we wanted. Breaks through 75. We got 63s. So a good play there for me, anyways. On this name, Nvidia. We'll put that in our pipe and smoke it because that was a good trade for us for sure. No sticky icky stuff. Well, maybe it was sticky icky right there. Okay, Afria. You know what, Afria? I mean, you know. While we're on that topic, let's go over to Afria and we Batman can have a quick look here. We know that till rate, you talked about that the other day, Brendan, as that agreement and arranged merger of symbols there going to take over. Afria going to take over the Tilray name. I think it was voted like 97%, you said, something like that, Brendo. So that's a big one there, and very, very happy there for anybody holding Afria, but it's been just a bad move. Like this has just gotten smoked all the way to the downside now, and it's resisting this. So if you're and you're an investor in Afria or Tilray or anything like that, you do have what was sort of happening here in late January as some kind of a base. That will look like that on pretty much every single weed name that you see will kind of look like that. I prefer CGC, but if we're going to look at Afria today, this is a 1 minute chart. I don't see much. I can switch over to CGC, but if Afria is not doing anything, then I don't imagine Canopy's doing it. This is a 3 minute chart. Again, if we were back into this area, maybe something. But I saw Afria being talked about on the chat a little bit, so I wanted to bring that up to people's attention. We're looking like breaking through 14 might be something, but I'm not in love with this, man. I mean, maybe if you take out the high. Marijuana stocks are just one of those kind of like meme plays where you're waiting for Biden to say something, the feds, or even just statewide. Here in Canada, the story's already over, so we'll wait to see. But Afria needs that push. They need something. They need what we call a catalyst.
Yeah, and yesterday for me, speaking of catalysts, so there's plenty of catalysts when it comes to QuantumScape because the short seller report, but yesterday was a bit of a mess, and I almost made that same mistake here. Now, by getting that first little weakness rollover off 37, we're in, like I said, we were in the money $1, and I wouldn't take it. I let it come all the way back against me. This is a spot here when you make the higher low, I should be taking that out at break even. I got the first target, and I say every single time, if I get that first target and it makes the higher low, I got to throw it to break even and wait. I didn't, lose a little bit extra at 37, and then patience. Allow it to double top here. Once it does, we grab our shares off of that little higher low it's putting in. You scalp them out at 37. When that iceberg broke, it broke hard. Bounces off. Look, the second I see it bounce, it's like, it's $1. It's past VWAP. It is in the middle of a chop range from the pre-market. I'm just going to get out. We take our dollar winner and run, guys. That's what it's all about. You have that thought process. It was a mess for me on QuantumScape. We had some winners, we had some losers. I just couldn't get the best read on it. So I said, once it was starting to happen again, I'm only going to take it off the top. I still would have liked that breakout of 37 it held. I'm going to throw that one out the window. So I'm no longer going long through the break of 37.75. That was mostly going to be in play if that 37 iceberg had held. And I can tell you there was a shot, I think. Look, there was a bit of a shot here. If I just said, forget about it, it's not going to get to VWAP. Let's just hold on to 330 on Coinbase. I actually thought it was going to give us a test because being range bound is what it was doing. Now it's in full breakout mode. It looks like we're headed to that 338 level. I can show you the chart, but of course it's going, guys. I'm happy. I just wish my second long I'd held on to as well, but it is what it is. It's going to be up on that stock today, and I'll be all smiles because the stock keeps going up. I told you this yesterday, that 320, 320, 320. Buying in front of it over and over again. If it holds it, you got to pick some up if you want it in your portfolio.
Yeah, your boy already did that right off the open, guys. We talked about that. I told you how much we loved Coinbase, and we're in that now at 326. So we got one of the opening prints there on Coinbase. So that's why we flashed the money through. I mean, there's another call for you guys. Like I told you, I was taking that off the open. You had multiple opportunities to get it, and now Coinbase. Oh my God, yeah, the 1 day doesn't matter, of course. But there it is. Where was the open? Yeah, right here. So maybe I got better than 326. I don't know. Where is 930? I guess we can go to a 1 minute chart here to see off the check.
2750 is the open.
Okay, yeah, so then I probably got 27.50 or so. I'll double check and get back to you guys in the afternoon. Either way, we're cashing it in. Never, I'm not getting out, so it doesn't really matter what the price is right now. We love us some Coinbase. I think that's a big mover, and you guys will see very, very soon. I think Coinbase flies through that 425 area, no doubt for that for me anyways. So there goes Coinbase. My only bid is going to be through that 338. So I still have that order in. We've been waiting for that all day, so hopefully we get paid off on a 338 break of Coinbase. If you look back at the 3-minute chart, whoops, we can use candlesticks, that's fine. Go back to the 3-minute chart here, and this is the level that we like on Coinbase. Talked about that, extensively in the pre-market, and then even now, 338. So it topped out there yesterday a couple times. That's where we like it. Was a pretty easy long today, in my opinion. I mean, everything I've been reading about Coinbase, pretty solid. So 338 right there, good little break. Just holding 335 right now. So, I mean, if you're going to look short, it just resisted that 335 a bunch of times right here. Like, it broke it once, but since then, I just saw, I don't know if it was an iceberg or what, but 335, pretty solid there on Coin.
I can't believe we haven't done this, but hopefully I get this one right. We're going to hit it for you guys today. Just a bit of a reminder, it's Friday. And that means coming up on Monday, we have our members-only Q&A. So right after the show, Arun, who talks futures, you guys will know all about him. He's going to be coming through. So the entire team will be there, including Arun, to answer all of your questions. Do it for about 45 minutes after the show. It's a lot of fun. So get in early. If you're not a member, sign up. If you want to participate, guys, we have a lot of fun doing it. And I just want to make sure I highlighted that one. I can't believe we forgot all about it. And can't keep Brennan winning. We got some news here.
I was just checking on Tesla, guys. Not really a story that's going to move the stock, but did come back into 725 this morning and hold again after it did the same yesterday afternoon. I just read this headline and kind of chuckled a little bit. Tesla made $1 billion in its Bitcoin investment in 10 weeks. That was more than it made in all of 2020 selling cars. So there's that.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin has just been going. I mean, he put in 1.5 billion, and Bitcoin's probably. Whatever. You guys can hear predictions on other shows, but I mean, it's not stopping. So that's going to be a great investment for them. We did have a couple people on our show as well. I talked about that that puts a Bitcoin into their portfolio, and I think that just makes sense, man. If you're a company, why would you sit on cash? I mean, why are you even owning gold stocks and things like that? But whatever. That's for another talk. You could talk to Mark Roberts about that. Coin 336 right there. It does resist that. Now we're coming back down. We just gave you that dollar, 335 short. I didn't take it, but it is resisting that. We can see what it does here at 334. Like, let's just see if it tests it again. I'll show you what it looks like here. I mean, now they can't even get past 98. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, so there's no reserve there at 335 or 334. You saw that get eaten up, and then right away, bang, right upside. If you're just scalping this thing, man, this is like paradise right there. That was a quick 70 cents. Now we'll see if it does the same thing at 335. But for right now, it's kind of just chilling out. It needs to break through that 335. Then your boy goes long 338.
Yeah, just gonna re-put I don't know why I didn't have an order on QS here through that 36 break, but I'm gonna throw it in there again. Ebon, it holds again at that 4 sort of 85-ish area where we got the bottom of this little retracement move. And if it's all it's gonna give me is that 25 cents on a $5 stock, gotta be happy with it. So I get it again in front. I do leave on 20% just in case if we get a push back down into VWAP, but it's counter trend. We're strong. I'm still watching spot holding up above 61. It's sort of basing out 61.4 and trying to hold up there. Nikola is the other position we've been in this entire time. And when we looked at some of these EV makers that were making the move, it was like, Neil, let's try it, fail. Workhorse pulled it up and was like, nope, I'd rather do it in Nikola. It's rolling over. This is going to look better in a higher time frame. And again, this is not like, I'm not getting out until it breaks VWAP here, so it's kind of irrelevant sort of where we get in. If it's above 11, sort of below 11, I'm short. And if it's not breaking VWAP, I'm not taking any profit. I still think we can, unless there's some kind of crazy squeeze happening, if this does not break 11, I really do feel Nikola is going to hang out at the rest of the day in the 1050 to 1060 range. So I want to make sure I have at least and likely more than half my position on if that's going to be the case. Nikola is still working for us. I haven't really talked too much about that EFOI because it's been a solid trade, except for the fact that it gave you this retest at 430, which I was not involved in. Way too many stocks at the same time to be getting back into EFOI, but it's been a solid one. I know Brendan's been looking at it as well. And here comes the 338. I think Coinbase feels like it wants to make that break. I will say this: I now feel like I like the dip buys more than I like the breakout. So I'd probably put more shares on if it were to give you a dip and then buy off a VWAP than the 338 break. And just so you know where we're sort of getting that, guys, you are going to look at the afternoon action, and this is the top. It's not sort of pulled out of the hat, guys. It's 338. There's 2 days worth of price levels to look off of, so it's kind of going to stick out like a sore thumb.
And this is why, yeah, exactly. Oh, nice little view
nice.
there. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Good one there, buddy. Thank you for that look there, Robbie. Showing off the equipment, right? I mean, look how smooth that is. What is this, NFL Monday night here or something like that? Yeah, so thank you so much for that one. Yeah, look, providing the entertainment and the trading, hopefully, for you guys there. And look, this is the thing. I just want to bring this back up to NVIDIA here. Whether or not this goes back up or down, we noticed that this was the high. We take a little bit of risk there. And I just want to show you, like, I can't, claim to be this disciplined trader kind of guy here, and then not take things out when this happens. But look when this comes to the downside, right? Like, that's an easy break of VWAP there. You did have a big move up. And again, this is very important because when you get, this is a 3-minute chart, but look at how excited the stock gets there. Like, it just, same thing happens here. 1, 2, 3, and then a drop, right? 1, 2, 3, can't hold it, then a drop. We let it see if it wanted to go 1, 2, 3 again to the upside. But when that resists right there, it makes this play easy. Like when we were in here, I had no targets to the upside. Okay, now we're into Coinbase. We can take a little, whoops, no, we don't take it 100 shares. We'll take it a little bit there for a little bit of a win there. So right away, in and out. I don't even know what price I got, 330, 339. I don't know where that went. Now we're gonna wait to the upside. I'm only long here, 338.40. So there's the break on Coinbase. But hell yeah, we're in the money. That smooth little bit today. So we're walking on a bit of water here with Coinbase. I'm gonna give this trade back to 335 right now. So we're into Coinbase. We're in there off the open. We just scalp out a little bit. Now let's see if this can fly to the high side there. Had no idea. We're still in this position there. We don't want to get out. Coinbase right now breaks that 338. And look, I gave this one, like, if you want to trust in what I'm saying, that's fine. But I talked about Coinbase breaking that 338. You could have got long 320s, 325, and so on and so forth. But here we go, Coinbase, here we go. Let's see how high this goes. I'm giving it back to 330, this price. Yeah, actually, you know what? Just a 335 break, and I'll get out. Look, I'll lose $3 on this if I have to, but let's see what happens now with Coinbase. I think it moons. Back to 335, and I'm out. I just hope that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, you get that 338 break. Always, like a breakout style trade, I always believe in scalping some of it. That allows you to do a couple of things. It allows you to buy a bit of a dip and then not really change your risk profile too much, which always makes sense to me. I kind of look at 336 instead of, well, it's more like a 335.75 than 335, but that's probably splitting hairs. And then what I would also like to do here, and we use a different stop order, to be honest, because I don't like the fill that I got on the first one. Maybe use an Edge A1 next time, Sean. 340, I actually think is a bit of a place to add. So if it breaks 340 as an even dollar, I kind of look to 345 and think I just want to be getting more shares to the long side if it just shoots straight through that particular price. I can tell you Nicholas finally sort of rolled into the money to the downside, but it's not really doing much of anything. Very, very slowly grinding, only a few cents in the money. But I just went over to QS, QuantScape here. I was looking at sort of rethinking this 36 break. I'm going to cancel this order. I don't like getting a break on an even. It was a good level at the pre-market, but then I was sort of thinking about it. If I was shorting this one at 36.65 and it failed at the moment that I was thinking it's going to give the big flush, it was a failed break through 36, and then the higher low was at 36. I'm going to stay away from shorting that price. I'm going to short it on a pop, and then I'm going to short it on the low of the day, and it'll give to like 35.50. So once again, with those looks, yes, that's what I'm talking about, my friend. I don't have a Timbit here. That'd be nice if I could chomp it in front of your faces. But you guys do get to see this, and I want to say a big thank you because we did get to drink this one off at 200,000. So you saw them away. That was Sean's pick, and it was a heck of a lot more delicious than the one before. I'm going to finish these guys. There's only 2 left, and it's like chocolate, so I'm all over it. I don't understand why there's chocolate left. That should be the first thing to go. You guys have absolutely no taste when it comes to Timbits. I would have cleaned them up for sure, guys. But anyways, back to some live trading here. Coinbase can't go. 340, going to take that breakout. It looks like it's coming any second now. So adding to the position, we call it averaging up on Coinbase. And I canceled my short through 65 on QuantumScape.
Okay, yeah, good. I mean, QuantumScape, we talked about getting out of that yesterday, and we did. So good job on that. But again, I don't know where that's going to go. I'm not going to get involved with QuantumScape until we're back above 40. on that one. So, okay, Coinbase, we waited forever for you, so let's just see if it eventually wants to go. It just tested 339 again. It went as high as 339.50 for us there on Coin. So we're going to wait on it. Hopefully this moons. I don't really have too much idea I just told you we're going to get out at 334 break on the downside, so we're going to take a big hit. Not a big hit. I mean, we'll take a $4 hit if it breaks down. But we are looking for more than $4 on this. So again, if we go back to the last couple of days here on Coinbase, the last time we were here, and it's so hard to judge because, I mean, this was a monster move down. We crushed this move upside. That was a no-brainer there off the IPO, in my opinion, unlike yesterday's IPOs. But right here, this level, I mean, if we can break it, if we can maybe zoom in just a little bit more here, it's coming back in right now, by the way. But you know, upside, we did stop at 342 a little bit. There's some consolidation there. I mean, whatever. I don't know if we get to 350. If we do, then giddy up. I'll be super happy with that one. But right now, 338 looks good to me. And then if you did want to get a little conservative and take some out for that $4, then 342, it can't be blamed for that. So I do have a $4 upside target there, but my downside is also 4. I just don't want to get out of this thing. So that it's properly structured there. If you guys want that trade, there's the structure. I'm long 338. I'm not getting out till 334. So you guys can do whatever you want with it, but that's my play, and there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I just, look, I talked about that 336. I just dipped, I just threw a bid in here and I was trying to pick it up as it came back down to 337. I should have been in front of 37. I said 36 and I went 36.75. Didn't get the fill down here, so it's still range bound at the top end, but I tried to buy that dip. I like that 36 level a little bit more than I like 35, so I wanted to buy back in front of it. I'll still take the break at 340, but it is what it is. I might have just missed the boat on that particular trade. And the second time it comes through, it's likely to blow back. If you don't get the rubber band action, I don't like the dip buy as much. Here comes, of course, Coinbase to the downside, but I have to go back over to, if I can, and where are you? I have to go back over to Intel. Intel looks like it was the wrong decision possibly to get it. It holds the low. This is likely to be a trade that I like over lunchtime. Just because we're sort of rebounding and we're back above that 14,000 mark. I still believe in the chip space. What I might do is have a quick look over at all of the names that are worthwhile over in space. That'd be like go to AMD, go not just to Intel, but also go over to NVIDIA, and then see if there isn't a better play in terms of the setup. I still like the fact we've held the low. I just got in too early the first time. I think the price is a heck of a lot better in the 80s and 90s than it was that 65.10 that I had before.
Okay, yeah, we're just, look, I mean, okay, Coinbase, trying to get back up again. I just have no idea where this thing is going to go, guys. I mean, if that's not obvious, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to just wait to see. I already broke that down for you, so hopefully it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We could check in on AMD. I mean, my really disappointing stock of the day for me. I'm just going to keep going back to it, even though we're back now. We'll probably look at this in the after show. But, I mean, it doesn't, for me, this was a missed opportunity, huge. We could have taken out a little bit more profit than we did on BAC, because this little move there, it even looks more ridiculous. And I'm embarrassed to show you this, but I'm going to do it anyways, because it did break down below. I thought if we could test this, but looking back at it, man, like why we did not wait for a 38.90 break, I'll never know. It's coming back in, so it may be a time to reload on BAC, but we missed all of this. Like, I was loving BAC long time here at the beginning, and then bang. Yeah, I love you too, Randy. So 39.40 here. That should have been, like, if that's not, again, another spot to short it, it's just a missed opportunity. Whatever, however I want to break it down for you, this was a missed opportunity on the short, and then this was a missed opportunity getting out there. So I'm going to flush myself down the toilet. It's a hugely successful day. We're monsters up. I mean, I'm way more than I was yesterday at this time, so I can't complain. It's been a fantastic day. The NVIDIA one was a ripper. Pinterest, I mean, it doesn't bang. I mean, that was great. My number one, this is the funny thing, my number one stock today remains Alcoa. And you may not, like, you look at this and you say, well, what? I mean, he hit that rate at 930, right? But it was with a decent amount of shares. It's right here on my thing, on my board. You guys know when I say the word breakout right there, you can see on Alcoa, 34.25 is the breakout spot for AA. So, you know, that's my bread and butter. We put that breakout in our pocket, and you can see the kind of damage that did there with Alcoa. So, you know, really super happy on that trade, and that's actually my number one trade. Even though the most I took on it was $1, the share size I had there, obviously as compared to NVIDIA, much, much higher. So my number one stock, Alcoa, and my number one loser there, BAC. So So nothing I can do. But for now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks traded, and we go 6-2 today. Not too bad.
It's better than Shaq at the foul line, that's for sure. And I haven't hit it. Maybe I did hit it. I don't think I did. You can't look a gift horse in the mouth when you're playing something as strong as you're seeing in Ebon right here. And of course, oh, there it is. I'm going to pick up some on a bounce in Coinbase if I can there. I just saw it bounce off 335. But look, I said back down to VWAP and I'd be out. That's exactly what we do. We stick to our plan. You don't get greedy and think that, yeah, whatever, this stock is going to go down forever. Look at the trend. It is what it is. If you're counter trend, you wait, you pick your spot, and then you get the rollover. We did talk a little bit about why that was going to be the play. Let's go to the 15-minute chart just so you guys that were not following along. I was watching as it sort of crept up. I'm like, let it break this 5. Got to let it break through there. As long as it starts to turn before we get to that top. Now, if it had been at 525, 530, that's obviously a bit of a stronger move. Sometimes when it's shy of that, you get that good leg. When it comes back down, not on the way up, but on the way back in. That's when we got that short at 510. We're into VWAP. That's always going to be the retracement type play that I'm looking for. If it's a junk stock, if it's absolute garbage and super weak on the chart and a lot weaker than it looked here, yes, I would be holding through VWAP, maybe even adding. Not this case. I just take the winner and run, guys, and run.
Clover day highs. Shout out to Brendan for this once again, guys. Clover now trying to rip it out. We only have 8 minutes left. I don't know if there's going to be any earnings. Mondays are always pretty light for earning days. But yeah, Clover just continues, guys. 920. I mean, if you're long Clover and you've been able to get it the last couple days here, oh, yeah, that's right. It probably won't load the daily chart. We'll come back to that in a minute. But if you're long anything down here and you picked it up off Wall Street Bets, or you picked it up just off some of the movements that we've been talking about today, even if you're long at 8, like you may want to debate taking some out right now. It's just been a big move up. We're right back up to, there we go, so it loaded. We're right back up to these levels on Clover. And again, a lot of these SPACs and a lot of these new issues have just gotten smoked. So watch out there for Clove right now coming out. So 890 right there, good spot. You just got a gift, I believe anyways. The high was 950. We always want things to moon. There's no doubt about that. But if you're going to be a little bit disciplined here and you've been buying on this way down, there's your gift. You made it all the way back up. I don't know what your price would be, but that may be a good spot to take profit. And then if you really like the name, then you could just take another breakout through 950. So I would be taking profits on Clover, but trade your book. All that is a suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you always have to trade your own book. It's just it's a crazy moving stock. You saw me stay away from it, and even then, it doesn't touch that 950 price area, and that's why you see me steer very clear from it. One thing we didn't steer clear from, with only about 5 minutes to go. Like I said, like sometimes it's about getting out of the trade and accepting that you're wrong. Maybe it should have been a roll into the long. I think that's. In retrospect, in hindsight, that's going to clearly be true in NIO here, guys, but I didn't do it. But I have looked at where I got out at 35.80, and I do see it basing out at just above that at 35.90. So there is a nice little range being made here. And a non-tested VWAP after what is now a $2.50 bottom to top move in NIO, for it to not even come back into VWAP is a strong play in here. So this does feel like it is rebound day a little bit for NIO, and I'd look to be defending that one in the afternoon. I think we're going to come back at 315, and as long as we're above this price, I'm going to favor the longs in on NIO. We don't really know what's going to happen. Things can change from there to then, so we'll be back. We'll let you know what happened with all the positions that we have on here, even if they haven't resolved themselves. I think I'll still be in Nikola when we come, well, I think I might still be in Nikola, hopefully to the short side. If it continues to go down, if I'm happy, then you know I'm still in it at the end of the day because I want to hold on to this one as long as I can. Basically flat right now in Nikola, but if it's below 11, I'm short it unless it's breaking the low of the day. And the low of the day is down at 1036, which I'll be very happy to see. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but that's my short bet. It will not be NIO.
Guys, very kind words. Sean Owen family, nice name. Again, just thank you so much for that. We're just going to sit back, relax right now. Rob's getting his new toy right here. So here we go. We're going to go with Hydration Nation. We haven't been drinking too much of this today, but there it is. And we're just basically right now, we got the Pumas on here. This is casual Friday, baby. I mean, we're just going to sit here and continue to watch Coinbase right now to go. So if you're looking at this is the setup. We got different charts up here. I got my email here. Don't come too close, Rob. I don't need anybody to see my email here. We'll put up Twitter there. There we go. But look, it's been been a great day. This is the setup that we have, multiple monitors here. I got a couple charts over here. We got some art. Shout out to my baby girl, making the best art in the business right there. This will be up as an NFT soon, so you can get that. And then right now we just chill out. Thank you, Rob, for that. That's great. I just want to chill out there with man, whenever Randy's here, we can't control ourselves. I just want to let you guys know that I'm still in pure chill mode. We could take this dollar on Coinbase through 339, but again, I've already broken that out to you. I love Coinbase long, and we'll just wait till that 334 breaks. That's the only trade I've got on. We have 0 LFT right now. What that means is we're at our highest spot we've been at all day. 0 LFT, lost from top, nothing right now, and we're gonna keep it that way as we're about to end the show in about 4 minutes. But remember, where is it? There it is. Coming up after noon. If you're not busy, why don't you come, or if you are, cancel. Why don't you come join us at 3:15 as we'll trade the close. I still may be in this Coinbase. If this Coinbase doesn't test 334 again, I'm gonna still be in this. So we'll wait to see. Wish me luck. I wish you guys luck. Hopefully you have a good afternoon of trade, and then rejoin us back, guys, at 3:15. Should be a great show. That's it for me for right now. I'm exhausted. We're going to drink some more water, and we're going to go 6 for 8 with a monster day, and let's just hope Coinbase can top it off.
Yeah, and I just took a new position, and I'm going to show you why in a quick second, because I wouldn't normally have this trade on, except for two things. TSP, weak, and back to 40. Oh, 39 at least. This was a short we had earlier. Fill it out the window. It double bottom. We got it. We told you why. And now, that ain't me. At 11, throwing 120,000 shares on the offer at 39, but I am short in front of it, that's for sure. So I just took some shares. I ended up with like 92.5 because you can see the spread was like 5 cents, so I wasn't even waiting around for like 98s or 99s. That's splitting hairs. If it breaks through this, I just feel like the risk to reward is too good. I mean, how am I not taking that quick little shot? Like, it's been so weak. Even if it breaks to the upside, I'll get out and then look for that test of 40 even. But I've only been short TSP, and I'll show you why. That's day one. This is day two, showing a little bit of strength off that 36 level, which we shorted into before, Brennan.
All right, typical for a Friday. Not a heck of a lot to look at as far as earnings are concerned for today or even Monday, but lots to come next week. There's J&J, there's Procter & Gamble, there's more of the vaccine names, there's Coke coming next week as well. So lots of names, even in the travel sector. I saw some of the airlines going to continue to report, the cruise lines as well. So lots to get to next week on earnings, guys. Should be exciting.
Yes, sir. And look, the bank earnings were not, they were fire earlier, but they certainly weren't anything today. And we anticipated that could have been the case. There was some trades in the pre-market, but that's all I got in Morgan Stanley. You have to go to what is moving, and that has been, Coinbase is moving around here. Of course, TSP. Of course, we're looking at that Clover, which has been fantastic for all you guys that's alongside of it. And look, it's an exciting show. I want to remind everybody, because it's very, very important, we are coming back for that after show. So at 3:15, you'll get to see what happened with these positions, some of the things we talked about this morning, but also we'll trade that power hour and end this week off right, because it's been an exciting one for sure. And before we get out of here, we have one more thing that we have to do. And that, whoops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. There we go. One more thing we have to do. Yes, we do also have the members only coming up. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to take this off. I don't know why I won't. But we had to go and find out what national day it is.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you for spending this amazing week with us. We reached 200,000 subscribers, had lots of profitable trades and a lot of great events. Guys, we love you and appreciate all the support. We'll see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. In advance, have a wonderful weekend and happy National Eggs Benedict Day.
Okay, that's my that's my wife's absolute favorite breakfast. So shout out to you, love you long time as well. And Eggs Benedict, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of it, but Eggs Florentine, you get the salmon, but the Eggs Benedict, very, very nice. Nothing wrong with that one. As Coinbase rips to 340 now, and we're getting excited because I'm all over that one as Coinbase. Here we go, baby. Let's see how high we can fly there. Giving you that prediction of 342 at least is where we're looking for there on COIN. Coinbase, guys, join us for the fastest 45 minutes in YouTube at 3:15. I'll be back, and so will you, I hope. Hope to see you guys then.
And I will say this about Eggs Benny. Valeria said the other day that she didn't really know what brunch was. If you ever get to the old mill, which has a fantastic brunch. The Eggs Benedict is fantastic, and get yourself a mimosa. A brunch is fantastic. If you guys don't know what brunch is, look it up. It's like the best meal in existence. But you know it's 11:30. We got to get out of here. We got to do what we got to do. It's been a fun day. It's been a great, fantastic show. And right down that line, Miss V, get yourself some Eggs Benny. My man Sean Katina right there in the merch. And Brendan Wickens. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you back at the close.
Bye, guys.